What's going on, guys? JSGC here, back again with another Manchester City live stream watch along, where today we're going to be doing the watch along of Man City's third Premier League game of the season as we take on a proper banana skin in Brighton and Hove Albion away. A game that Manchester City lost 2-1 last season, and Manchester City going to need to start getting back to winning ways after our home loss last week against Tottenham Hotspur by 2-0, and it's going to take here a fantastic performance for City to come away with all 3 points against a really solid team like Brighton. So before I do crack on with today's live watch along, make sure, like always, if you are enjoying the content, then do subscribe to my channel. We're less than 400 subs away from my goal of 47,000 subscribers, so any help towards that would be much appreciated. Also, don't forget social media links there in the description if you want to go and follow me on my X, Instagram and TikTok. Email also in the description too if you want to hit me up for any sponsorships or any videos or any general business inquiries. Don't forget to leave a thumbs up on today's stream. You know the aim, 100 likes. Any help towards that would be great. We're already more than a quarter of our way to getting 100 likes. We've got 73 likes to go, so any help towards that would be great. Also, don't forget as well, if you're watching this after the stream, then do get your thoughts in the comments below. And if you're watching live right now, where are you tuning in from? What are your score predictions? What are you thinking for this game? Connor, welcome. Thank you for tuning in. Vuga as well, welcome. Thank you for tuning in. Mudgy, thank you for tuning in. Much appreciated as well. So fantastic to see everybody tuning in. We'll speak about the teams in just one moment. Honest, thank you for tuning in as well. Much appreciated. So today's video sponsor, it's brought to you by SofaScore once more. Remember, SofaScore are going to keep you guys up to date with all the latest football scores from around the ground. They're going to keep you guys up to date with all the latest match information, a lot of the latest team news, the latest statistics, and so much more. It's not just limited to football. It's got you guys covered for all the sports and scores that you guys love to follow, all in one place, all in one app. It's a free app to download, very highly rated, and anyone that does download using my link in the description or the link in the live chat or the QR code on screen does help to support the future content created here on my channel. I'm going to roll my promo video and then we're going to speak about the team news. And a big thank you to SofaScore. You can go and check them out. Links and details, they are in the description. Manchester is blue, welcome. Thank you for tuning in. Yeah, much appreciated. And Jessica, welcome. Thank you for tuning in. Helping to moderate today's chat. Remember, keep things clean. No spoiling it for others. Pretty much it. There's the rules here on the JSGC live streams. Jessica makes a good point there about Rodri starting over Nico G. Is Rodri ready? We're soon going to find out. But a real big call made by Pep Guardiola. So we're going to have a look first at the team news for today's game. I'm going to leave my vote. I think Man City are going to win today's game. So that's going to be my vote, which 82% of SofaScore users agree with. It looks like I think it's 10% have gone with a Brighton win and 8% have gone with a draw. So, looking at the match official for today's game, it's Darren England averages a red card every 0.13 games with an average of 3.68 yellow cards per game. So we're looking at near enough 4 yellow cards per game, and you've got just over a 1 in 10 chance of there maybe being a red card in today's game at the Amex Stadium down on the south coast, where Brighton take on Man City. So, having a look then at the lineups, we're going to start off first with our opponents, Brighton and Hove Albion. They're lining up and led by manager Fabian Hurzeler. They're lining up with Verbruggen starting in goal. It's a back four, so a 4-2-3-1 formation of Veltman as their right back with De Kuyper as their left back. They've got two centre-backs in Van Hecke and Lewis Dunk. Lewis Dunk, captain for Brighton today. In midfield, you have got Baleba, Hinshelwood and Gomez. On the right wing, you've got Minter, left wing Mitoma, and starting up top, Danny Welbeck. On the bench for Brighton today, Jason Steele, Baskagli, Kadioglu, Coppola, Gruder, Rutter, Milner, Ayari, and O'Reilly. Missing a few players, including Solly March and Cisco and Webster, but all round, pretty solid team. In particular, I'm looking towards where the dangers are going to be. A good midfield, Hinchelwood, Baleba, good players, Minter, Mitoma, going to look to try and cause problems. It's why Man City have gone with pace at the back today. Danny Welbeck does know where the back of the net is. He's done very well for Brighton, in my opinion. I'm looking at the two centre-backs as well. Solid centre-backs. Van Hecke, I rate him. I think he's very much a high upcoming centre-back. I won't be surprised to see in the next 12 or 24 months Van Hecke secure a really big move, going off the relations that Chelsea have got with Brighton. It probably would be to Chelsea, but decent centre-backs. A high-quality young goalkeeper in Bart Verbruggen as well. Good team. Will take Man City to be at the very best of their ability to win this game. Just having a look at the average age of Brighton's team today at 25.8 years. Man City set at 25.9 years, so nothing at all. 0.1 years to separate the two teams for today's game. Having a look then at the Manchester City starting 11. We're lining up with more of a standard 4-4-3 formation. We're lining up with James Trafford, the big call made in goal ahead of Ederson. A back four made up of Matheus Nunes on the right wing, Abdukodir Khusanov and John Stones, Man City's centre-back pairing for today's game, with Rayan Ait-Nouri as Man City's left-back. In midfield, we do have Rodri returning to the starting 11 for Manchester City, and I think that's sensational to see. As Jessica said before, I'm hoping Rodri is going to be fully fit, and he is going to be able to do a good 60-65 minutes here. A big test this one for Rodri. He has been called up by the Spanish national team, so they obviously regard him as being ready. Man City obviously feel like he's ready as well, so let's see how Rodri does cope here in this first half at the Amex Stadium. Alongside him helping to support in midfield, you've got captain Bernardo Silva and also Tijjani Reijnders. Oscar Bobb, great to see him given the nod again on the right wing. It's Omar Marmoush looking like he's lining up on the left wing today for Man City, and Erling Haaland starting up top. I suspect what you're going to see here is Man City, they tend to do different things both on and off the ball. I think when Man City are on the ball, you're going to see it go into a 4 at the back here and more of a 4-4-3. When Man City have got the ball, depending on if the attack's taking place on the left or the right-hand side, you're going to see Matheus Nunes get forward. So when he gets forward, I'm hoping that Rayan Ait-Nouri is paying attention, and he knows that he needs to drop deeper to help support John Stones and Abdukodir Khusanov, and obviously Tijjani Reijnders, Rodri and Bernardo Silva are going to have to be switched on, which is why I'm surprised with the Rodri call and not Nico G, because Nico G's been slotting in, dropping deeper to help to support the centre-backs. But if Rayan Ait-Nouri wants to get forward, that is going to allow Matheus Nunes. He's got to be smart and switched on, so he knows that he's got to stay back. But it could be very much freedom here for Rayan Ait-Nouri on that left-hand side, because it could allow Omar Marmoush further ahead of him to start to invert and support more with Erling Haaland. It'll be interesting to see if he starts to stretch the pitch and act more as a winger, or if he's going to cut in and act more as a striker here for City, in particular when these attacks are taking place on the left wing rather than the right wing. So that'll be an interesting call to make. I suspect from the right wing point of view, it's going to be very much Oscar Bobb playing as an out-and-out winger for Manchester City today. Some interesting calls made on the bench as well, guys. On the bench today for City, Ederson, despite rumours of him potentially closing in on a move to Fenerbahce. We've got Ruben Dias, Rico Lewis, Nathan Ake. Manuel Akanji been heavily linked with the exit door, apparently rejected a move to AC Milan. He's rejected a move to Galatasaray. He wants to play in the Premier League and he wants to play in the Champions League, so that means he'll probably say no to Crystal Palace. So the question is, will Tottenham Hotspur make a move for Akanji or not? If they don't make a move, then Akanji could be staying at Man City. Akanji in the squad today, that's interesting. Ederson might be set for a move to Fenerbahce, him being in the squad. I find that really interesting. Bettinelli being injured hasn't helped things, so it's always been a case of, do you go with Ortega or Ederson? Well, Man City have already told Ortega to find another club, so that ruled him out. So Ederson left out at the starting 11 once more, but fit enough to be in the squad. And I said last week, and I'm going to say the same point again this week, if we start to see errors from James Trafford, you've got your first choice goalkeeper sat on the bench, and he's ready to start. If he's not close to a move to Fenerbahce, then you start him. And if he is close to a move to Fenerbahce, then he doesn't make the squad. We're in no man's land here. Same with Manuel Akanji, and I can argue the same with Ilkay Gundogan, also on the bench for Man City today, also being linked with the exit door, because I find that really interesting. You know, these players that are potentially set for the exit door, making the squad for Man City, which means these players are fit and available, and if needed, could come onto the pitch. There's nothing stopping James Trafford getting injured in the first minute, and Ederson's got to do the next 89 minutes. Same can be said with a defensive injury. Man City may choose not to go with Ruben Dias or Nathan Ake and go with Manuel Akanji. That would give a strong indication that actually these players may be set for exit. So I wonder here if Akanji and Gundogan in particular making the squad today are not necessarily needed. So when Man City make the substitutions, that's going to be really interesting, because obviously we've got more than enough cover at the back with Ruben Dias, Nathan Ake and Rico Lewis all on the bench, and with Ilkay Gundogan we've got good options from midfield as well, including Nico G and Nico O'Reilly as well. Jeremy Doku also makes the bench for Man City today. Missing out in the squad completely then is Josko Gvardiol, who's injured, out until after the international break. Marcus Bettinelli, I don't know when he's back. Calvin Phillips doesn't make the squad. I'm expecting him to leave before deadline day tomorrow. Savinho, injured until after the upcoming international break. He looks like he's going to be staying at Manchester City, and Kovacic continues his recovery from his operation in the summer, so doesn't make the squad for City as well today. So there we go. Guys, what are your thoughts? Please do let me know in the live chat. Don't forget to get your votes as well on today's poll. 75% of you guys going with a Man City win, 90% with a Brighton win, and 6% with a draw. So interesting, real interesting. I still think that Man City have got enough to win this game. I'm going for both teams to score. I think Brighton will grab a goal, but I am going 3-1 Man City. I think all important once again, like it was last weekend. First goal is crucial. The team that scores first, I think, goes on to win. I don't think this will be a draw. I think there'll be a winner. I think the team that scores first goes on to win this game. So I'm hoping that City are going to go flying at Brighton to try and win this game and get them under pressure. Man City looked not as good, shall we say, last weekend whenever we were put under pressure and the high press came in from Spurs. Expect Brighton to try and do the same with Man City today. Might be why they're going with more control in midfield with the likes of Rodri. The approach might be from Man City, simply give the ball to Rodri whenever you are struggling. So interesting to see how James Trafford is with his distribution. He looks a bit shaky. Once he'd made the mistake, he were allowing balls to bounce whenever he wanted to come out and sweep. He wasn't really dealing with the problems, and going off the performance the week before against Wolves where he looked so calm, collected, years older than he looked years older than what he actually was. Looked like he was an experienced goalkeeper beaming full of confidence. Then last week, a bit of a reality check. So the question is, you're going to make mistakes. It's going to happen. How do you respond to them mistakes? And that's what our answer is going to be today for Man City. James Trafford given the nod ahead of Ederson. Interesting. Right, thank you very much to Manchester is Blue going with a 1-1 score prediction today. Connor going with a 3-1 prediction for Man City. Honest going with a 2-0 prediction today for Man City. John, welcome. Thanks for tuning in. Says, would have loved to have seen Rodri and Nico G and Tijjani Reijnders in the number 10. Giving the nod to Bernardo Silva. I was hoping to see Foden starting, but he's out injured, unfortunately, for City today, so he can't make the squad, along with Rayan Cherki, so that's why they're not in the squad and not included yet on the injury list, because it's not been updated by SofaScore, I presume, just yet, as them injuries have been announced in the last hour by Pep Guardiola. So I presume that's why Man City have decided to probably give the nod here to Rodri and gone with Bernardo Silva, because I always thought it was going to be a case of either Foden or Bernardo starts this game. Bernardo Silva, when he started against Wolves, did nothing wrong in my opinion, so doesn't surprise me to see Bernardo starting once more. We'll see how we do get on in this game. It would have been nice to see Nico G and Rodri starting together, but we'll have to wait for that one, unfortunately. And Dua, thank you for tuning in. Says good luck today for City. So thank you very much. Hopefully it'll be 3 points for City today. Cashew, thank you for tuning in. Van Hecke's a quality centre-back. I rate him. Like, keep an eye on him. He's going to be in charge of man marking Erling Haaland, and he normally does a very good job, so he might just be a player to keep an eye on, in particular if Man City are ever wanting to dip into the market and have a look at centre-backs, which may well happen at some point in the next 12 to 24 months. Nick, welcome, going with a whopping 10-0 victory, I presume, there for Man City. That would be absolutely great. Connor, I'm happy to see Ait-Nouri back. I was wondering if he was going to be risked or not for this game. He has been risked, so we'll see how he does get on. Jessica, I'm going to echo that. It's fantastic to see Khusanov once more in the starting lineup. We do need their pace. Matheus Nunes as well. No surprise, because I think Brighton's biggest threat comes from Mitoma on the left, so if you go with pace on the right-hand side for City today, hopefully that'll help deal with at least one threat out wide, and I feel like that's where the dangers are here today. Minter, Mitoma, keep them quiet, potentially can keep Brighton quiet as well. Connor, I'm happy to see Khusanov starting. It's great to see Cashew. Bobb, a good player, does need more game time. He's had a good start to the season. I'm hoping now he's going to really start to kick on. It was looking like it was going to be his season last season. He picked up the injury that kept him out for months, and he's made a good recovery once more. He's fit. He's put in a couple of good performances, so hopefully he can continue that both in this game and going beyond as well, and hopefully he can keep himself injury free as well. It'd be great to see Oscar Bobb grabbing goals and getting assists today, which I think would be fantastic to see. Connor, I think Foden's just got a little knock, so I think he misses today's game, but he should be okay. He's not been called up by the England's manager, Thomas Tuchel, for the upcoming international break, so he's going to get himself a nice little break to rest up and fully prepare himself ready for the Manchester derby, where Phil Foden should be back in time for that game. In terms of Rayan Cherki, I think he's got a thigh injury. Not had any more details about what kind of thigh injury, whether it's a hamstring injury, but it is looking like that's going to be longer than what Foden's injury is, as confirmed by Pep. So if it is a hamstring injury, which is in your thigh, then I'm going to presume that would be a 3 to 4 week injury. So it may be a case that maybe we don't see Rayan Cherki for up until after the international break, and maybe even further beyond from there as well. Randy, thank you for tuning in. Says, no Foden, no Savinho, no Cherki. What's the story there? Savinho injured. Foden got a knock, misses out. No Cherki, also injured. Nothing more to it other than that. Jessica going with a 2-1 victory today for Man City. Cashew going for a 4-1 victory today. Corey matching me, going with a 3-1 victory for City as well. Connor, I think Bobb's going to have a good game. I put him in my thumbnail for today's live watch-along because I think he's going to have a good game. So I'm looking forward to seeing what Oscar Bobb can do. Dave, welcome. Thank you for tuning in. Says City victory, going for 3-1 as well. Says unhappy Friday with Warrington, great Saturday with Borough. Now come on City, like that, Dave. Hopefully it'll be a good end to the weekend for you and for Manchester City as well. Rightio then, guys, we're just ready and waiting here for kickoff. We're around 7 minutes or so away from kickoff. So as I said, do get your score predictions in the chat, and also where you're tuning in from today. Don't forget as well to leave a thumbs up. We're now nearly halfway to our like goal of 100 likes, 56 likes away, so any help towards that would be great. Subscribe as well if you're new around here, guys. We're very close now to 46,700 subs, so any help towards that would be brill. Also, don't forget as well to go and check out my social media links, which you can find in the description, including my X, Instagram and TikTok. Email also with the description too if you want to hit me up for any sponsorships for any videos or any general business inquiries. And speaking of sponsors, I want to say a big thank you to today's video sponsor, SofaScore. Remember, you can go and check them out. It's a free app to download, very highly rated. They've kept you guys up to date with all the latest team news for today's game. They're going to keep you guys up to date with my half-time and full-time analysis, including providing all the statistics for today's live watch-along. So do go and check them out. It's not just limited to football. It's got you guys covered for all the information and scores for all the sports that you guys love to follow. All in one place, all in one app. Cricket, rugby, darts, NFL starting next weekend. It's all on there for you guys to go and enjoy. So do go and check it out. And anyone that does download using my link in the description, or the link in the live chat, or the QR code on screen does help to support the future content created here on my channel. And a big thank you as well to everybody that has downloaded SofaScore already using my link. It is much appreciated. So then, just ready and waiting here for kick-off between Brighton and Hove Albion and Manchester City. It shouldn't be too far away. Players will be making their way out very soon. They'll do the Premier League anthem and they'll line up and stuff ready for today's game. In terms of other games to keep an eye on, because we do have another Premier League game taking place at the same time as this game, is the Nottingham Forest, West Ham game. Later on today in the Premier League, you've got a big game at Anfield, Liverpool taking on Arsenal at 4:30 p.m. BST. Also got Aston Villa taking on Crystal Palace at 7 p.m. today as well. Also keeping an eye on the Old Firm game up in Scotland, because Rangers are taking on Celtic at Ibrox. That game's finished now. It's finished. Pretty boring game. 0-0. Do also have another derby up in Scotland today. You got Dundee taking on Dundee United 2. Aberdeen taking on Falkirk. Hibs taking on St Mirren. So there we go. Cashew going with a Forest win. I'm going with a Forest win. I think Liverpool-Arsenal a 2-2 draw for me. I reckon Villa edge it against Crystal Palace are my predictions for today's game. So the players are in the tunnel now. Smart stadium, the Amex Stadium, and a smart tunnel there as well. City going to be led out by Captain Bernardo Silva. Lewis Dunk ready to lead out the Brighton team as the players do make their way out of the tunnel. Here we go, as Connor says. Here we go. What is going to happen in today's game then? Hopefully, a good performance, a good start by City, score early and win this game. That's what we need to do for me. Hopefully, we can make it happen. Already won our other game on the road, beating Wolverhampton Wanderers by 4-0. So if we could put in a similar performance today, and remember that game required Man City to be extremely clinical, I'm confident a similar performance today with us being clinical can see Man City pick up a big 3 points. The lovely Julia, welcome. Thank you very much, Julia, for tuning in. Much appreciated. Do hope you are well. So we're just 4 likes away from 50, guys. Any help towards that would be much appreciated. Connor, me too. I hope Trafford can have a good game. I mean, look at the size of Van Hecke. Very impressive player. I'm telling you, how old is he now? How old is Van Hecke? I think he's a player to watch. I really do. Yeah, he's only 25. Just turned 25. He's still relatively young. He's still got probably still got a good 10 years or so left. At the top end of football. A quality player. Problem is, you're a club that's very successful in the Premier League. You want to sign a player from Brighton. It's very expensive. They drive a very hard bargain. The Napoli of the Premier League. They're very difficult to get business done with. Very difficult. Anyway, guys, we've got around 2 minutes or so left of the poll, so don't forget to get your votes in of who you think is going to win today's game. 78% going with a City win, 17% going with a Brighton win, 5% with the draw. So City's starting 11 today. James Trafford in goal, Matheus Nunes right back, Rayan Ait-Nouri left back with John Stones partnering Abdukodir Khusanov. Into midfield three, made up of Rodri today, along with Bernardo Silva and also Tijjani Reijnders. On the right wing, you have got Oscar Bobb, and on the left wing, it looks like it's going to be Omar Marmoush, with Erling Haaland starting as Man City's striker for today's game. Wildcats Island, thank you for tuning in from the Bronx. New York City going with a 2-0 win, I presume, today for Manchester City, so do hope you are well. Wildcats, is it a bit early? What's it, 2 p.m. here? Makes it 9 a.m. over in New York City. Thank you very much for tuning in. Hope you're enjoying your Sunday morning over there. Connor says, what are my thoughts on us having Napoli at home, match day 1? Firstly, not a fan of this Thursday night football. I'm not a big fan that we've got Arsenal away from home on the Sunday following that game. I mean, it does give us extra recovery time from the Manchester derby to prepare for the big game against Napoli in the Champions League, and it's very important about picking up home wins. They're crucial if you want to finish in the top 8. It's also very important to get your campaign off with a win. So that's what we've got to be doing. Return of Kevin De Bruyne. We've got Bayer Leverkusen as well in the Champions League. I'm fairly sure that Claudio Echeverri is allowed to play in that. So we've got the return of Claudio Echeverri. Leroy Sané with Galatasaray. We've got the return of Leroy Sané. It feels like the return of everybody. Could be a return of Ederson if things do go that way in the transfer market. We will see. Manuel Akanji maybe. We'll see as well. Right. Manchester City playing in their very smart away kit for the season. Their black shirts, black shorts, black socks, attacking from right to left. And where Man City are going to get us underway. Brighton attacking from left to right. Tijjani Reijnders that gets us underway, passes the ball back to James Trafford, has his first touch, which, nice little dummy soul, that'll do his confidence the world of good, and then he sends it long here to nobody in particular, and Brighton can have the ball, but a good little dummy there from James Trafford, which I hope will just make him feel better, in particular about the distribution side of things. So Brighton playing in their blue and white striped blue shorts and blue socks. They're attacking from left to right in the sunshine down on the south coast at the end of August. Good solid away day in front of a sold out Man City away end. It looked like a handball on Bernardo Silva. It's not going to have any impact though, because Brighton are going to get that one cleared through Doku, and Man City are just going to keep working this one back under pressure. Kadir Khusanov finds James Trafford. He has to take a touch. He's got a good pass there to Super Johnny Stones, and a chance here for City just to work this ball over to the left-hand side if they choose to. Pass comes in there, a sensible pass in the end from Man City, and John Stones just works the ball to Rodri, who floats a pass, a lovely pass over to Rayan Ait-Nouri. Julia, the men in black, can they deliver? Here's Khusanov now. Interesting. It looks like John Stones has gone on the right and Khusanov on the left. So Khusanov looking like the replacement for Ruben Dias, choosing to go with extra bit of pace. And excellent to see the young lad from Uzbekistan getting more regular minutes here with Manchester City. Here is Rayan Ait-Nouri then. Plays a little 1-2 with Omar Marmoush and does well. And a chance here for Ait-Nouri just to burst City forward. Tries to hit a pass in. Omar Marmoush manages to intercept. Here is Tijjani Reijnders now. To John Stones. He's got Matheus Nunes as an option on the right. Plays in Nunes now. Here's Tijjani Reijnders once more. Nunes always seems to be in the training winning team for Man City that I see City posted on social media often. So maybe Nunes got a good bit of confidence from the training pitch, which would be good to see. Right, guys, I'm going to end the poll there. So 80% think a City win today, which I'd be more than happy to back the majority. I'm going 3-1 City, 14% with a Brighton win and 5% with a draw. We're just 2 likes, guys, away from 50. Any help towards that would be great. Don't forget to subscribe as well if you're new around here. It is free to subscribe, and do go and check out today's video sponsor, which is brought to you by SofaScore. Links and details, they are in the description. So a ball just gets played off Oscar Bobb, goes out of play for a goal kick to Brighton. Verbruggen's going to send this one long, so a bit of defending in the air for City to do, which John Stones commands very well, wins the header. Tijjani Reijnders plays a good header to Bernardo Silva. He's got to be strong there, Bernardo Silva. And a free kick given, I think, been given against Bernardo there. He gets barged to the ground and puts a sliding challenge in, which Bernardo's not happy with. Here's Verbruggen then. Not a good pass. And I think Lewis dunked with the pass there. Passes it out of play for a needless throw-in given to Manchester City. Inside Brighton's attacking final third, which City, of course, work backwards. Looking for the slow build-up play. Looking for their opportunities and just waiting as Tijjani Reijnders pressed into a mistake. Here's Danny Welbeck, not really got too much support, and Khusanov is over very quickly there, just to intercept from Minter, and Kadir Khusanov does a very good job there of this sliding challenge. So it looks to me they're going with Khusanov on the left-hand side as centre-back to help deal with Minter, quick winger on the right, and Matheus Nunes also very quick, helping at right back to try and deal with the problem of Kaoru Mitoma, is what it looks like. So we do hit over 50 likes now, just 49 likes to go. Any help towards that would be great, guys. Gomez is down for Brighton, receiving a bit of treatment. So Tijjani Reijnders, when pressed and forced into the mistake, had a slight follow-through with his studs up onto the foot of Gomez, so he's hurt himself. I think the referee had played, I wonder if he played the advantage there. Not a red card offence. Should have been a free kick. I could argue a yellow card maybe should have been given for that, which is why you're seeing manager Hurzeler unhappy there for Brighton. Tijjani Reijnders just pressed into a mistake. And from what I've seen of Tijjani Reijnders, he's got a load of quality, in particular when he's getting forward. I think he's doing a bit of adapting to the pace and aggression of the Premier League. You do see Tijjani Reijnders making a mistake or two here and there, giving the ball away needlessly or not, holding, and he's adapting. Rodri had it big time in his first season, and once he did adapt, he obviously been absolute quality. And I think it's going to be the same with Tijjani Reijnders. I think it's going to be a big learning curve for him over the next 12 months, but he'll come out the other end as a real solid, better player. I think you'll be talking one of the best midfielders in the Premier League, one of the best box-to-box midfielders in the world is what I think you'll be talking about. So we're just getting another slow motion replay. There's ever so slight follow-through from Tijjani Reijnders. He goes to play the pass. Obviously, your boot flicks up when you go to play the pass, so the studs goes into the ankle. I feel like the slow motion makes everything look worse than what it was. You play the whole clip, you see a player pressing for the mistake, he gets the mistake, and the player's just trying to stay calm, trying to follow through the pass, and isn't able to do so. Gomez is still receiving a bit of treatment. I think he'll be okay to continue. The Brighton coaches are asking for an explanation to come in from the fourth official. So, yeah. Steve, welcome. Thank you for tuning in. Says, where do you watch in the UK? The game's been broadcast live on Sky Sports today, so it'll be available if you've got any Sky Sports packages. It'll be available in any pub that shows sports. I'm watching today from the JSGC HQ. City fans in full voice there for Johnny Stone. So a throw in here for Brighton just outside the City penalty area. Veltman to take. Takes the throw in. City managed to get a foot on it. Rodri's going to hook that one clear. Something for Erling Haaland to chase up against Van Hecke. There's the quality of Van Hecke. Calm and composed. Manages to play a comfortable pass back to Verbruggen, who works the ball to Brighton's left-hand side. And a chance here for Brighton to try and build another attack. Matheus Nunes puts the squeeze on and manages to get his foot onto the ball. And that will be a throw-in for Brighton midway inside their own half. I agree Manchester is blue. We need an early goal. Settle things down. It's been a bit of a robust first 7 minutes or so here. No chances as of yet. A chance there for Bernardo to intercept. Manages to force the mistake. And City just equally as quick to force their own mistake as well. And a heavy hit of a pass comes in from Brighton, which will have too much on that for Minter. And that will go out of play for a throw-in. A goal kick to Manchester City. There's a fair few mistakes here from both sides, really. Been a bit sloppy. I expect Man City that once we're playing every 3 to 4 days, I know that when we come back after September, it's obviously a very difficult fixtures to play. Manchester derbies are never straightforward. Napoli at home, Arsenal away, all inside a week. As that's a good through ball here. Haaland is in. Haaland! Oh, it's the tamest of efforts. It's such a weak effort from Haaland straight at the keeper. He's on his stronger left foot. Marmouche is alert to the danger. Through ball comes into Haaland. He was struggling to get past Van Hecke. He always had a yard on him. And it's such a tame effort from Haaland. He doesn't quite hit it right. Hits it with the bottom end of his side of his foot. A bit of argy-bargy going on between Van Hecke and Erling Haaland. Haaland weren't happy about Van Hecke coming in with a push, and I think him and Van Hecke are just... Yeah, there's a bit of physicality going on there. Haaland not happy with it. Obviously, Van Hecke just trying to rough and tough Erling Haaland. It's going to happen with centre-backs. Haaland, I think, has adjusted himself really well to the Premier League and dealing with the physicality of it. But I just think, obviously, it's a shot on target. But I think Haaland should be scoring there. Someone as good as Erling Haaland, I think that was a pretty straightforward opportunity for him. A bit of a disappointing effort. Biggest chance of the game so far. Verbruggen then plays a pass in, and there's a poor touch there from Veltman. And again, just mistakes being made. This is where Man City need to capitalise. Connor says, do I think Khusanov will have a great game? He's a top defender. I hope he does. Here's John Stones. Got an option of Matheus Nunes on the right. Goes to Tijjani Reijnders through the centre. Here is Khusanov now. I hope Stones can stay fit. John Stones that stays fit. I mean, he's out of contract in next summer. So he'll be working to try and get a new contract at City. So John Stones, it's well within his best interest to stay fit. Because if he doesn't, he's going to be out. And City are going to need a new centre-back. And obviously with John Stones being homegrown, we're going to need a homegrown player. Not suggesting we need a homegrown centre-back. Just we need another homegrown player to be brought in at least another position to replace the John Stones homegrown quota. Should be a free kick that for Brighton, and is taken quickly just inside the Man City half. Here is Van Hecke now under pressure from Haaland. Sends a ball forward that's long. Should be dealt with by Rayan Ait-Nouri, and he just sees it out, and that'll be a throw in for Man City just on the outside of their own penalty area. Here is Tijjani Reijnders under pressure, does well. Avoids 2 challenges. Here's Rodri. Brighton just trying to put the squeeze onto City. Not the best of clearances, but Omar Marmoush does very well in taking an extra touch, and a good sliding interception comes in, and referee chooses to give a free kick. It did look like Hinshelwood had got his foot onto the ball there, so I can see why the Brighton players are a bit unhappy. But I'm more than happy. I'm going to take that because City under pressure there with a high press coming in from Brighton. Brighton have done their homework about putting City under pressure. Does look like Hinshelwood gets his toe onto the ball here. That's a better angle. Let's have a look. He gets a clean tackle. Never a free kick. Never. If that were given against City, I'd be fuming. Never a free kick. Clean challenge. Gets the ball. Oh, don't get why the referee's giving a free kick there. It's actually a perfect sliding challenge from Hinshelwood. Can see why Brighton are unhappy about that. I'd be very unhappy if that was City. Oh, look at Rodri just under pressure. 4 players pressing him. He just brushes one aside, goes into the pocket, and then just plays a nice little pass through. I've missed him. I've missed him so much. Oh, that's a heavy touch from Nunes there. Real poor from Matheus Nunes. You don't want to be showing the ball there to Mitoma. He can punish you. Here's Danny Welbeck under pressure from Oscar Bobb. Not really seen anything of Oscar Bobb so far. Heavier touch there, and here's Omar Marmoush now. Coming forward for City. He's almost acting as Man City's second striker. And this is a scrappy game. No one's on the same page. No fluency. Nunes slips again. It must be very slippy over on that right-hand side for City. There's no fluency to this game at the minute. Here's Baleba then bringing Brighton forward. Matoma's got a bit of space. Nunes should be onto him. He goes with the early ball because he couldn't do anything else with it. It's not the best of balls from Mitoma. And that will be a throw-in for Man City over on the opposite side, on City's left-hand side, which I'm sure Ait-Nouri will take. Next to the City corner flag. Yeah, it's been a bit of a scrappy start, this one. There isn't much going on, to be honest. Anyway, guys, don't forget, leave a thumbs up. We're aiming for 100 likes. 43 likes to go. Any help towards that would be great. Do subscribe. And do go and check out today's video sponsor, SofaScore. Links and details there in the description. That'll be another throw-in for Man City, which went out of play clearly before Gomez decided to boot the ball into the stands. I think Rayan Ait-Nouri just did a little gesture over to the linesman just to say any need could be deemed as time wasting, booting the ball away. Didn't need to do that. I would suggest a bit of frustration, but I don't really get what Brighton have to be frustrated at the moment. They've forced mistakes from City. It's a pretty end-to-end game. Seamus, thanks for tuning in. I agree it's great to have Rodri back. And City are looking a little more composed. They don't look as error-prone, which is the bonus. They've had the big opportunity from Haaland, of course, which is a very tame effort from Erling Haaland, in particular for someone as good as Erling Haaland. But everything else, yeah, we'll see. Manchester is Blues hoping Ederson will stay, says Donnarumma. Don't reckon there's enough time. There is enough time. City have worked really hard in the behind the scenes to get things sorted. I'd say the bigger question mark isn't enough time about Donnarumma. I'd say the bigger question mark for me is about Ederson and leaving. Is there enough time for Ederson to get a deal sorted? Donnarumma's in Paris. It's an hour's flight. For Ederson to get to Turkey, that's 4.5 hour flight. So it'd be well within the best interest, really, of Fenerbahce or Galatasaray, that if they do want Ederson, they could probably do with getting that deal agreed either tonight or the early parts of tomorrow. Free kick given to Man City. The goalkeeping situation should never have been left this late. Man City, for me, are feeling the impact of leaving things up until the last minute. We didn't do anything from June 10th right through to the end of July when we signed James Trafford. We've not done anything in that period between June 10th and going to the Club World Cup during all of the Club World Cup and allowing the players to have their rest upon the exit of the Club World Cup. 8 to 9 weeks, they did nothing. Fatal error. As Van Hecke goes into the yellow card for a sliding challenge which was mistimed. A bit of a battle going on there. I won't rule out Erling Haaland getting a yellow card at some point. There's an ongoing battle between Van Hecke and Erling Haaland. It's good to have Van Hecke on a yellow card, though, because that means now he can't do anything. Erling Haaland smiles because he knows Van Hecke now can't really do much any more of that. And, they're going to be down to 10 men, and losing someone as good as Van Hecke at the back could be very costly for Brighton in this game. Adrian, it is a bit odd. Goalkeeping things aren't normally left like this. It may just be, obviously, there's an ongoing rivalry between Fenerbahce and Galatasaray. That might just be a little bit of one-upmanship going on. Or they might have just identified to think they need a new keeper as Kadir Khusanov comes forward. And it lined up real nicely that for Khusanov, that he could maybe have decided to put his foot through it and have a shot. Goes for the pass, and it's not a good pass, and it's intercepted. City's passes haven't been very good at this minute. Not very good at all. Here's Oscar Bobb. City just trying to pin Brighton in. Needs quick movement if you're going to keep Brighton penned into their own half. Here is Khusanov now for City. City centre-back Stones, and Khusanov's in a lot of the ball. Julia says, wonder where Jose Mourinho goes. Been getting linked with the West Ham job, hasn't he? I'm surprised he's not gone to Saudi Arabia for big money yet. Jose Mourinho's tactics for me are outdated. I don't think he's a very good manager anymore in this modern game. But he's a big name. You say to me, oh, a manager who's not very good, but a manager that's a big name smells of Saudi Arabia. Get the big money. I actually think Jose Mourinho, if he ever decides to give up management, would make an excellent football pundit. Excellent football pundit. Got the charisma. Isn't scared to come out with his opinions and things. So, yeah. Here's Rodri. Egg, thanks for tuning in. Foden, no, he's injured. Not in the squad today. Rain, thank you for tuning in. No need to apologise. And Connor, it all depends on Ederson's ambitions, to be honest. Remember, Ederson's only got 10 months left on his City contract. In 10 months' time, he's not going to be a Man City player. So it depends on where does he want to go. Where does he see his future being? What's he wanting from the latter parts of his career? It's been a bit scrappy. It's a scrappy game. Ait-Nouri and Minter go toe for toe, and Minter comes out on top, and here's Brighton now looking to spring a counter-attack, and it's a step forward there. I mean, Mitoma's miles offside. A shot comes in and saved by Trafford. It's a call. Is a flag gone up? Trafford makes the save. I'm not too sure the flag went up here. He's onside is why the flag's not gone up there. So that was a good save from James Trafford. Best chance of the game so far for Brighton. He looked miles offside. Really good save that from Trafford. Really good save. So why you play what's happening on the pitch. You don't play to the whistle. You play to the whistle. You don't just presume a player's offside and stop playing. And that's a real good save from James Trafford. So Brighton's best chance of the game so far, springing a counter-attack on City. And there's the danger that Brighton have when coming forward that City need to be oh so careful about. So a corner here for City to defend. Van Hecke's forward. De Kuyper's in there. Lewis Dunk's in there. Corner here from Brighton. Goes towards the near post, headed clear by Matheus Nunes headed back in. That's going to be collected by James Trafford. It's been a good 90 minutes or so from James Trafford. Long ball sent forward, looking for Omar Marmoush. Baleba allows the bounce, and that's excellent, excellent defending from Baleba. You can see why he's highly rated. Under pressure from Marmoush. Nice calm header back to the goalkeeper and takes all the pressure off Brighton. It was very close, Jessica. Connor, I can't see Calvin Phillips staying. Man City can't register him, so he can't play. So he stays at Man City. He can't play again any football until January 1st. So it'd make no sense for him to stay, and it's something that City are going to have to sort out. I would, it's his wages that are the biggest problem. I'm surprised that Man City have left things so late with Calvin Phillips. It might just be a case that Calvin Phillips is going to remain injured for another month or two, and he's just going to have to remain unregistered. As that's excellent from Omar Marmoush to find Rayan Ait-Nouri, and a good interception there from Brighton to get the throw-in for Man City. Andy Man, thank you for tuning in. Ederson leaving. It's on the bench, so I'm not expecting any developments until later on after this game. I imagine there'll be, if fees are to be agreed, I imagine it'll probably come tonight if he is to leave. We are dealing with a very tight deadline. Remember, transfer deadline day the deadline doesn't shut at 11 p.m. BST like it normally does. 7 p.m. So it takes another 4 hours away. So we're getting towards, by the time this game's finished and things are sorted and City are back in Manchester, there's 24 hours left of the window. So to give them enough time for a deal to be sorted, I'd say that a deal would have to be agreed probably tonight. And if not tonight, then very, 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 very latest tomorrow morning sometime. So it looks like it's going to be a very interesting final day in the transfer market, shall we say. I mean, we need to sort out Calvin Phillips, Stefan Ortega, Issa Kabore, obviously Ilkay Gundogan, Akanji link with the exit door, Ederson leaving, maybe Donnarumma coming in. That's a lot to sort in one day. So Hugo Viana's probably going to have a sleepless night tonight. It's a poor pass from Kadir Khusanov. In the end, he has to make a challenge to give a throw into Brighton to make up for the mistake. They're going for a long throw here, Brighton. I've heard that Mönchengladbach are interested in Ortega. It's not resulted in an offer yet. That's something that needs sorting because Ortega's in the same situation as Calvin Phillips. Can't be registered. So if he stays at City, he's not going to get registered and he's not going to play a single game between now and January 1st. Makes no sense. And Ortega wants to go to the World Cup with Germany. And if he can't play for months, that's not going to happen. In particular, and it's not down to an injury either. That's a lovely floated ball. From Brighton looking for Mitoma, and I think the offside flag's gone up and has, so Mitoma just slightly strayed offside. He shouldn't really be offside in such a position. Mitoma can look right across the line and he's a good yard offside. I think Brighton will be disappointed with that. Seamus says, what do I think of Chelsea stopping the low move of Jackson to Napoli? Was he not going to Bayern? And also, it's odd. I know they've got an injury to Liam Delap. Agree a deal and then at the last minute say, actually, you might be needed. Like, what? Is that what Chelsea's depth's like? Like, one player gets injured and you have to stop the transfer of another? It looks disorganised. That's the problem I was having with Vita Hayes. We were speaking about centre-backs and Ake linked with the exit door and Akanji linked with the exit door. And I was saying, we're going to be left really short that we might have to recall Vita Hayes. And if you have to recall Vita Hayes, it looks very disorganised. Like you don't know what you're doing. And the amount of players that Chelsea go through, you could argue that they don't really know what they're doing. It's a bizarre situation. And that's a poor ball from Bernardo. Got real lucky there, City, to come away with the ball. Here's Oscar Bobb then to Tijjani Reijnders. Here's Erling Haaland. A good clean effort this time from Erling Haaland, and it's snatched wide. Good opportunity that for City. It's been a game of few opportunities. It's been very patient from both teams going toe-for-toe here. 0-0 in the 24th minute. Lovely play that from Oscar Bobb. Good combination from Tijjani Reijnders to find Erling Haaland. And Erling Haaland, unfortunately, could have had a brace if he had his shooting boots on, but he doesn't, and it remains 0-0. So, guys, don't forget, leave a thumbs up. We're now just 40 likes away from 100. Any help towards that would be great. Also, don't forget to go and check out today's video sponsor, SofaScore. Links and details there in the description. And do subscribe as well if you are new around here. Professor reckons we're going to sign Donnarumma on the final day. we will see. We'll see what does happen. Here's Tijjani Reijnders then to Bernardo Silva. He's got Rayan Ait-Nouri in space. Good chance here to play something across. He goes for the back post. Haaland's header is there, and has that gone across the line? City asked the question. Referee checks the watch, and the referee says no. Best opportunity there for City. Good save from Verbruggen. Keeps the ball out the back of the net. Here's Bernardo then to Rodri. Puts another ball in, looking for Haaland, and the header comes in, and it goes wide. Chances for Man City there. A good ball out from Rayan Ait-Nouri. Looked like he were onside. A good deep ball played in. Erling Haaland gives the shout. Wins the header. It's a good save that from Verbruggen. Really good save. Said he's a high quality young goalkeeper. I just realised Verbruggen always seems to have a good game against us. It's like Flecken. I think Flecken's gone to Bayer Leverkusen, and we've got to play Leverkusen in the Champions League. All our Champions League games are all proper banana skins, difficult games that possess their own challenges. There's nothing straightforward for City at all. Nothing. James Trafford says, I'll come and collect that and take the danger away, and does. Haaland's not been too sharp here at the minute. Chelsea are allowed to do what they want. He's Chelsea's player. He signed the Chelsea contract, so Chelsea are allowed to do whatever they want when it comes to Jackson. Jackson's just, he wants to be playing on a regular basis. He wants his move to Bayern Munich. And Chelsea said that you can have your move to Bayern Munich, and then they've said you can't have your move to Bayern Munich. As I said, it makes Chelsea just look a bit, like they don't know what they're doing, is how it looks. The depth's that back. I mean, surely before you'd sanction the sale, you'd sort your replacement out, because they had no contingency to Liam Delap. So, bizarre situation. Real bizarre. Rodri then pings a lovely ball forward. I've missed Rodri so much. It's Rayan Ait-Nouri. Interception comes in from Brighton. That'll be a throw-in for Manchester City. I've missed Rodri so much. He uses class, sitting there in that hole for Man City, pinging balls into players in acres of space. It's sensational. Absolutely sensational. I have missed a Ballon d'Or winner. I really have. And how much, more composed and solid does Man City's midfield look with Rodri in it? That should be a corner for City, and is. I suspect, I have a feeling Akanji's going to stay. I don't think he'll go. I don't think Spurs will come in for him. I might be wrong. They're the only team I think that could sign Akanji, because they play in the Champions League and he wants to stay in the Premier League, so rules everybody else out. So I think he'll stay. I actually think Gundogan might be the player that leaves, because we do still need Gundogan or another non-homegrown player to leave, because otherwise we're going to be left with a non-homegrown player going to be not registered by City. Corner comes in anyway. Header won by Van Hecke. Omar gets on top of it and puts that over the bar. It's a chance that for Omar Marmoush. Gets excited. Just puts it on top of his foot. And City have not been... This is what we had against Spurs. Gave a few opportunities, and we've not been clinical. So we've not punished Brighton. The chances have been there, and we've not punished them. At the moment, this is very similar to the match against Spurs last weekend. So we'll see if Brighton come forward with an opportunity and put it in the net. At the moment, they've had one chance, and they didn't do so. I think there's been a clash of heads involving Rodri. So he's currently just crouching down. So physios are going to need to come on just to assess both players with a clash of head. He's got a bit too excited there, Omar Marmoush. I think it was Gomez and Rodri over clash of heads. Yeah, it's sat on top of his foot. His foot's always pointing up, so obviously the ball's always going to travel up, and with the pace and the power that he's put on it, it's always just going to go very high, very quickly. A difficult one to get right, really. It sounds quite strange for me to say, but that's from that distance where we were, it's one of them that you could really do with Omar Marmoush kind of slicing it, mishitting it almost, to allow the ball to loop and take the power off it to head towards the opposite side is what I'm trying to get at there. Yeah, too clean of a connection is what we're looking for there. Too clean of a connection. Here's Kaoru Khusanov coming forward. Going to get dispossessed. Heavier touch from Brighton. Nearly given away. This game's sloppy. Sloppy game. Adrian says that Leverkusen talking about sacking Erik ten Hag. Now, Erik ten Hag, before he went to United, solid manager. He actually got linked with a potential replacement for Pep Guardiola. A real good manager. Just United weren't for him. Same with Amorim. Look how well he did with Sporting CP. A really good manager. It's just they're not right for Man United, and Man United are ruining players. That's a poor pass into the channel there from Tijjani Reijnders and cut off by Brighton. Man City do get the ball back, though. That's a second mistake from Tijjani Reijnders, and I'm going to say what I said before to you guys about Tijjani Reijnders, which is just given away from Bernardo. Cut in. Touch from Brighton. Headed clear. Here's Van Hecke. And Van Hecke, Verbruggen's going to get there. He's going to put his foot through it. Go straight to James Trafford. A good catch. Catching practice there for James Trafford. Here's Khusanov then. Yeah, back to Tijjani Reijnders. He's a class player. Just as I've said before, he just needs some time to adapt. There's a mistake there, I think. You can force a mistake from Tijjani Reijnders. Right, Brighton send the ball long. Kaoru Khusanov gets his chest onto it. Rodri wants handball. Referee says no. Brighton can come away with it. Oscar Bobb's pressing really well. He's getting little touches in. City just aren't managing to read it. It's just not falling our way. It's not having the stroke of luck we're looking for. Oscar Bobb continues to put the pressure on. Brighton continue just to knock the ball around. Leverkusen have lost the best players. I look at Leverkusen, obviously a big team, big name in Germany, done tremendously well, lost a manager, lost a heck of a load of players. And I personally feel like I look at the games that City have got in the Champions League. The away games are very tricky. I look at the home games. They're very tricky. Dortmund aren't an easy team to face. Napoli are definitely not an easy team to face. Galatasaray could be quite difficult. Thankfully, last game, so we'll know what things are looking like and what we need to do or don't need to do. The Leverkusen game, I think I'm looking at the one being more of a straightforward game for City, that if we can turn up and play a good game, we should be able to win that game. Would have been a very complicated game if they still had the likes of Xabi Alonso in charge and the likes of Florian Wirtz, etc., who've helped Bayer Leverkusen to get to the Champions League where they are right now. So, yeah, that's a good challenge. Here's Rodri. Got some space on the right hand side. This is such a scrappy game, such a scrappy game. Here's Oscar Bobb on your own. Here's Marmouche. Can he get it through? He can. Haaland! There it is! Opening goal! Erling Haaland! Third time lucky for him. This time, makes no mistake. Into the bottom corner. And Manchester City lead by 1-0. Just going to wait to change the score to make sure he's not offside. It's even scrappy for that goal. Even scrappy for that one. Connor says, what are my thoughts on Trafford and Stones getting called up to the England squad? Happy for Trafford. Hopefully he can get some minutes for England. John Stones, it's good to see him back with the England squad. Hopefully one start and one not featured is what I'm hoping for. Perfectly onside. Nothing wrong with that. 1-0 Manchester City. What was needed, Haaland's 100th Premier League appearance as well, and he marks the occasion with a goal for Manchester City, the all-important opening goal. And Erling Haaland's there, right place at the right time, a nice assist for Omar Marmouche, through the legs of Lewis Dunk, captain for Brighton, boom, into the back of the net, well read from Erling Haaland, on it, poacher's finish. Erling Haaland makes it 1-0. Nice little dink over the keeper, good stuff. Look how passionate the Man City coaches there were. Colo Torre celebrating. Pep Lina's big smile on his face. Very cool and collective from Pep Guardiola, though. Cricket, welcome. Thanks for tuning in. Good to see Erling Haaland back in amongst the goals again for City. A real good assist from Omar Marmoush. Here's Marmoush. Tijjani Reijnders now. Lovely, lovely control from Reijnders. And they've stopped the play. We've got a player down. Who is it? Matheus Nunes. I think it's Matheus Nunes down, just walking a bit gingerly. I think he said he's just got an impact injury. I imagine Rico Lewis is probably going to go and start warming up. Yeah, Adrian, I do agree. The goal scorers side of things just slacking a little bit. Omar Marmoush, Erling Haaland are the goal scorers. Jeremy Doku, more of an impact player rather than a genuine go out there, score 15, 20 goals in a season kind of player, which is what I want to see Doku doing. Obviously letting Jack Grealish go on loan and not replacing Jack Grealish leaves us just one attacker short, which, I was hoping that City would start sorting out Savinho so he could bring in a goal scorer like Rodrigo just to help with them things, but they haven't done that. So, I want to see Savinho and Jeremy Doku turning into them players who are scoring and assisting on a regular basis for Man City. Connor says, do I think Haaland will be top goal scorer? Keeps himself fit and City can get firing? Yes. So, guys, don't forget, leave a thumbs up. Just 37 likes away from 100. Any help towards that would be great. Do subscribe and do go and check out today's video sponsor, SofaScore. Links and details, they are in the description. Here is Abdukodir Khusanov. It's been a very calm performance from City. They've not really looked shaky. They've looked very assured of themselves, even though there's been mistakes there. Here's Tijjani Reijnders finally using his big strides to try and come forward. Here's Omar Marmoush now really getting involved for City. Doing a lot of the donkey work, having to drop deep, but grabs himself a good assist. Here's Rodri to Bernardo. John Stones to Oscar Bobb. Marmoush and Haaland have been working well together. Oscar Bobb's a brilliant player. He was very important in the build-up there. Obviously, the man playing the important pass into Omar Marmoush for him to get the assist in the build-up to the opening goal of this game. Andy Man, it's a good question. I wonder when someone was going to ask me about Jack Grealish. It's a move that really, I said it at the time when he signed for Everton. He's got the capabilities, if they get the best out of him, to be Everton's best player. And I don't just mean Everton's best player just by a country mile. He'd be their best player because he's just an absolute quality player. Everton, with how they play, are going to be given a lot of time and space, and Jack Grealish, given time and space, is going to be a deadly player who's going to pick teams apart. So it's not surprising to me that I see Jack Grealish doing really well. If he can keep himself injury-free, I can see Jack Grealish going on to have a really good season, and it could well, the whole point of the loan move was he wants to be on the plane to North America with England to go to the World Cup, and I wouldn't rule out Jack Grealish making that happen with Everton. Everton are falling in love with a loan player, so Everton fans are wanting them to pay that 50 million to City. Here's City coming forward on the counter-attack. Here's Omar Marmoush. I think he wanted the free kick. Doesn't get the free kick, and Lewis Dunk does ever so well there. There was a pass on to Oscar Bobb, and he's not played it. 4 assists. I think the downside for Jack Grealish is that he doesn't really get given time and space. Is that he's a player that, given all that time and space, will do a lot with it. With Man City, it's very one-touch go and tight pockets of space. How good are you in them tight pockets? And I just don't think it's suited Jack Grealish to the very best of his ability. I do feel like when he's played behind the striker in the number 10, he's managed to play them passes in and look really sharp, and I actually think that's his strongest position. With Man City, the opening's always been on the left-hand side, and I always felt like he was a bit nullified on the left wing. Obviously made a great impact during our treble season, but it just, unfortunately, just didn't really work. And as Andy says, it's good for Jack. I want him to do really well. I really do. He's a lovely lad. A cracking personality. He's a great player to have around the dressing room. He's just a real kind, real generous person. He looks real lean and in shape. He's been working really hard during the summer to get himself back in shape. Looks like he's not been touching the alcohol and focusing on, his family. He's got a young lad, I think, as well. So great to see. Really happy to see it. I wouldn't rule out Everton, not being the only club interested next summer if he continues with how he's performed so far this season. He puts that consistency over 38 Premier League games. Everton are going to have no choice but to pay 50 million to City because other clubs will, even though he's 31. He's just head and shoulders better than anybody else available. And you put him in a team that's a mid-table team like Everton currently are, and I think he's going to do very well for them. I'm amazed that the likes of Newcastle weren't all over it. I'm half surprised that Manchester United haven't come calling on the phone. I just think he's head and shoulders above a lot of players. I just think for Jack Grealish, the point that he's at right now, I look towards like the three best teams in the Premier League for me are the top three from last season: Liverpool, Arsenal, Man City. I just don't think he's not quite their standard. But below them, everybody else, I definitely think is their standard. Whether that be Villa, Newcastle, Chelsea, Manchester United. I don't think City would make that transfer happen, but you get the point that I'm trying to make here. So you drop below the teams that are finishing, between 4th and 8th, and you go below them, and any team finishing below 8th, and Jack Grealish is going to be your best player by a country mile. And he, sometimes we talk about big fish, small pond for Jack Grealish, and Jack Grealish comes to Man City, the small fish in the very big pond, and it's difficult. And for how Jack Grealish's personality is, I want him to do really well. And I'm real happy to see him doing really well. I'm actually really happy that when we face Everton, he's going to be ineligible to face us. So Jack Grealish can't have any impact against us. And if he secures a permanent transfer to Everton next summer, which that may well happen right now, and I was amazed that Man City put such a high value on, but Man City obviously think that's paying dividends. I thought it had been set at 20 or 30 million, so 50 million. Yeah, going off Phil Foden's injury, I'm not surprised to see him not called up to the England squad. I think Phil Foden just needs a couple of weeks off. Hopefully he'll be good to go for City from there on out. And I imagine Phil Foden won't have to wait too long to get back in the England squad, because I imagine he'll be one of the first names on the team sheet. I can guarantee you right now, if Jack Grealish continues with how he's been playing, he will be in the England squad for the October international break. Players have been given the call up this time round. They're going to get given their opportunity. They've got to impress, because if they don't, they'll miss out. Somebody else will be ready to take that place, and it's all about seeing the options, and there will be chopping and changing in the squad through September, October and November, so England can identify who they think is going to be the good options ahead of the World Cup, and I'm going to presume that England will qualify for the World Cup, so yeah, we'll see. Anyway, guys, we're just 34 likes now away from 100 likes. Any help towards that would be great. Do subscribe if you're new around here, and do go and check out today's video sponsor, SofaScore. Links and details, they're in the description. Whilst we've been speaking about Jack Grealish, his games continue to be scrappy. There's not much happening. Game a few opportunities. I think both sides are just waiting for mistakes to be made. And mistakes have been made that often that both sides have adapted themselves to getting back if they make a mistake, to ensure that there's not really that much space to deal with. Man City have done a good job in creating opportunities, as Verbruggen nearly gave the ball away to Erling Haaland. Omar Marmoush has still managed to pick the ball up inside the penalty area. Here's Ait-Nouri. Put your foot through it. Put your foot through it. Gets it across. Good bit of defending from Van Hecke, and Rodri good for a Rodri rocket. Our first attempt at a Rodri rocket with Rodri's first start for Man City since his ACL injury. It goes high into the stands. Remains 1-0 here at the Amex Stadium. It's been a scrappy game, this. Been a scrappy game. I reckon Everton will permanently sign Jack Grealish as well if he continues how he's doing. The question is, have Everton got £50 million? The Everton fans are desperate for him to stay. They want him to be an Everton player really badly. I mean, to be fair, nothing stops Everton getting on the phone with Man City in January and saying, Jack Grealish has been that good, can we call this loan off now and make him permanent? We've got the option to buy for 50 million. Can we pay the 50 million now? Nothing stops City doing that. So, yeah. A good bit of workout play there from Brighton. A chance here for them to put something forward. Again, just continues to be scrappy, and the referee gives a free kick. Veltman indicates Ait-Nouri all over him pulling his shirt. So, free kick given to Brighton. Here is Van Hecke. Long ball comes forward. Matheus Nunes should deal with that. Danny Welbeck can't get there. Rodri can. City need to defend this. Bernardo Silva does a good job. Whacked forward by James Trafford. Anywhere but the Man City goal. And he just gets that one clear, which Van Hecke can build up the next Brighton attack. So it's important here that City try and keep Brighton out before we get to half-time. Just 40 seconds to go, plus probably a couple of minutes that are going to be added on. Here is Baleba. Plays a pass forward, a good pass forward, looking for Minter, but a little bit too much on that, and that'll be a throw-in for Man City. So that should get us towards the first 45 minutes. How long's going to be added on is the next question. Rayan Ait-Nouri doesn't look to be in any rush here for Man City. Brighton trying to put the squeeze on. I suspect there'll be 2 or 3 minutes probably added on here. Ait-Nouri then finds Erling Haaland, turns well, shirt pulled, free kick Man City. Erling Haaland not happy with that. Is a free kick. So, how long's going to be added on then? We're into the first of 3 additional minutes. Is James Trafford. Plays a nice comfortable pass to John Stones. A heavier touch from John Stones. Nearly given away. He has to slide to get it. He still could give it away. Mitoma, he had his arm all over that. Free kick given for Man City. Good bit of pressing from Brighton. They're trying that high squeeze. They're trying the pressing game that Tottenham tried last week that worked so well. Man City have looked more confident. For me, Man City, it's the concede and the heads drop and the confidence goes. Whilst they're keeping a clean sheet, and this maybe shows the value of clean sheets because it gives the defence tremendous confidence. City's heads start to drop if they concede. Here's Rodri. Good pass looking for Tijjani Reijnders. Tijjani Reijnders has his shirt pulled there. Didn't need the shirt pull there from Hinchelwood. There was extra cover coming in. And they'd have got the ball back there. But because the shirt pull comes in, referee whistle to his lips. Free kick Man City. 2 minutes to see out here. So guys, please leave a thumbs up. 32 likes to go. Aiming for 100 likes. Any help towards that would be great. Do subscribe if you're new around here. And do go and check out today's video sponsor, SofaScore. Links and details, they are in the description. Ball nearly given away there by Oscar Bobb. Brighton want a free kick. Referee says no free kick. Man City can continue to play on. Play to the whistle. Rodri pings a ball to the left looking for Rayan Ait-Nouri. Is it accurate? You bet it's accurate. Rayan Ait-Nouri's pass, though, isn't accurate. Khusanov has to step forward, gets his header won. Longer ball played in. James Trafford sweeps and James Trafford wins the header. You see, that'll do James Trafford the world of good. He was sweeping last week and he looked under all kinds of pressure and struggled. He commanded that. He shouted, "Mine, I'm going to head that," and wins the header and gets rid of the danger. Might be a throw into Brighton. It allows City to get the players back, though, and he deals with the danger there. Good goalkeeping, James Trafford. Into the final 50 seconds or so. It's important here that City keep this clean sheet intact going to half-time. I mean, a second goal here for City really changes the team talk. Puts Brighton at a point of no return. So, a big minute that Bart Verbruggen just sends up towards James Trafford, and he's happy just to pick up the ball. City's happy to waste a bit of time. James Trafford's going to send this one long. It was a very good header, Jessica, I thought. Good bit of goalkeeping. Good to see him command himself, talking. Trafford wastes a few seconds there. Sends it long. Looks for Haaland. Baleba can't win it. Bounce comes in. Baleba gets the second ball. Knocks it forward. Rayan Ait-Nouri aware of the danger, but he's not dealt with it. He's not dealt with it. Khusanov's got back. Ball comes across. Nobody's there. Danger there for Man City. In the end, dealt with. Thankfully. All right, I think it's at half-time. Yeah, referee's going to blow for half-time. I think it's Minter that's gone down. He's injured. He's going to need a bit of treatment. So I think referee blown the whistle. He pointed towards the tunnel to indicate the half's come to an end. You see, they're allowing the physio to come on. There's been no real wastage of time in the added time. So I see no reason. This is really annoying because he's needing treatment. Right, okay, yeah, no problem. There's a high foot there from Rayan Ait-Nouri on Minter. Minter then continued to play. Managed to get his ball across as well. Does kick him in the head there. It's a dangerously high foot that from Rayan Ait-Nouri. I wonder if VAR might want to have a look at this. So, once he played the ball across and it wasn't a good ball across, he's decided to go down and said he's got a head injury. My issue is, though, if VAR don't have a look at it and there's nothing wrong and they deem, right, that's done and dusted, there's been no time wasted, and all we're doing here is we're wasting minutes of our life. I can't imagine we're going to get things up and going again for another minute. So what's going to happen here is we're going to get to the 51st minute, 2 to 3 minutes after the initial impacts happened. City will touch the ball, pass the ball, and then the referee's going to blow for half-time. The referee could have just blown for half-time. I don't understand why they've let him get all... He needs treatment. Blow the half-time whistle and let him get the treatment on the pitch whilst we're going at half-time. Ball gets sent forward, and then he blows for half-time. I nearly swore then. Anyway, half-time, we're 1-0 up. We'll assess a game for the second half. Let's have a look then at the statistics for today's game. We're going to use today's video sponsor, so for score links and details there in the description. You know where to check it out. Right then, half-time in the other game, by the way, Nottingham Forest 0, West Ham 0. So, having a look then at the statistics for today's game. Man City dominating possession, 64% possession compared with 36% possession for Brighton. Expected goal rate for City at 1.23, Brighton's at 0.04. A good defensive display from Man City in that first half, limiting Brighton to not much. No big chances. Man City have created a couple of big chances and come away with a goal. Brighton have had one shot, forced a good save from James Trafford. Other than that, not really done much. Man City managed to have 7 shots, 3 on target, forcing a couple of saves from the goalkeeper. Third time lucky for Erling Haaland to find the opening goal of this game. 1 corner apiece for both sides. Brighton with 170 passes, 309 passes for Manchester City. 1 yellow card to Van Hecke, so he's got to be careful for the rest of this game, going in with physical challenges on Haaland, which since he's got the yellow card has kind of stopped. Man City with no yellow cards. In terms of the attacking statistics, no block shots, 5 shots from inside the box, 2 outside the box for City. Done a good job in creating a couple of good opportunities. There's not been too much on for City. It's been a game very similar to last week, where there were a few opportunities. Spurs put their opportunities away. Man City didn't. Man City have had their opportunities, not been that clinical, but have put an opportunity away, so we have scored and grabbed the all-important opening goal. However, Brighton have had 1 chance and not put that opportunity away. James Trafford pulled off a good save. James Trafford's distribution's been perfectly fine. James Trafford's commanding of his area has been perfectly fine. So, real good to see. And as I mentioned last week, like Man City face some good teams, tricky away games. Wolves, Brighton look very comfortable. When we're looking at teams who are capable of got the quality to go toe for toe with Cities, where City really struggle, the teams that are going to be finishing around where City are going to be, and that's where City look a little bit more exposed. And we've got some other big challenges coming up, like Manchester derby, unpredictable, anything can happen. Napoli, very good team, Serie A winners. Arsenal away. That week for me is the week that decides for me about have Man City really learnt their lessons. Brighton away, tricky game, half the job done here, still got a job to do in the second half, and not easy, a very big challenge, but there's loads more challenges coming up as well. Jessica, I think you're spot on, says Trafford's learned from his past mistakes, been playing really well in this game, and you've got to give him prompts for that. I said before, players that have made a mistake last week that start again this week, it's how they respond. It's not making the mistake. I don't mind players making mistakes. Mistakes happen. It's how you respond from making them mistakes. And James Trafford, again, just giving a bit of a headache about, James Trafford, for me, he's like Ortega. Too good to be Man City's number 2 goalkeeper. I don't think he's quite there yet. He might be in the next 2 or 3 seasons about being the first choice keeper. He's not quite there just yet. So is it going to be Ederson? Is it going to be Donnarumma? We'll find out from 7 p.m. tomorrow. We'll know that answer. But there's a lot for Man City to really think about in terms of James Trafford's progression, because he is the future. Homegrown by the club, doing really well. He's right on the cusp, and we've got to continue that development. So we'll see what does happen. It's been a bit of a scrappy game, this one, to be honest. It's not been a classic. City are doing enough to lead this game. We could do with being a bit more clinical. What we need to do now, make sure we come out big, strong push in the second half and push to try and get that killer second goal. City go 2-0 up in this game, puts us in a very, very strong position. Brighton score next, and Man City got a lot to think about. Job only half done. A lot for us still to get sorted for this game, and hopefully we can get it done. So they're my half-time thoughts, really. So do let me know your half-time thoughts as well. Fire says 2 more goals, and I've still got PTSD from the Feyenoord game last season. 3-0, 15 minutes to go. It's not enough. got to be four before I feel comfortable. But I do always say, kill a 2-goal cushion. City are 2-0 up, and if we're defending well and looking very comfortable, 2 goals is always, I think, puts us in a good position. But we do look a bit frail if we do concede, so hopefully we can keep a clean sheet. Don't think it'll do anybody's hearts the world of good for the second half if this remains 1-0. But we'll see. All Things Football, welcome. Thank you for tuning in as well. So, guys, we're just 26 likes away from 100. Any help towards that would be great. Do go and subscribe to my channel. It is free to subscribe. Do get your thoughts as well in the live chat, including your halftime thoughts on today's game. Don't forget to go and check out my social media links. They're in the description if you want to go and follow me on my X, Instagram and TikTok. Email also in the description too if you want to hit me up for any sponsorships or any videos or any general business inquiries. And finally, do go and check out today's video sponsor, which is brought to you by SofaScore. And a big thank you to SofaScore for sponsoring today's live watch-along. Ties in, thanks for tuning in, says Marmoush just needs to let go of the ball a little quicker. Yeah, I don't think Marmoush has had too bad of a first half. You know, he's grabbed an assist, he's looked lively. It'll be interesting to see more combinations between Bobb, Marmoush and Haaland for the second half. Yeah. Thank you for your opinion there, much appreciated. Right, I do have some halftime entertainment for you guys to enjoy. It's brought to you by my partner channel, Mixid. Go and check him out. Links and details, they are in the description. Now, in the summer, I headed to Greece, the wonderful island of Crete, and they've got their own native drink over there, their own little spirit called raki, which I managed to grab a little bottle of. I sent it over to Mixid, and I said, I'd like to see you do a review, and that is today's halftime entertainment. So do go and check out Mixid. Links and details, they are in the description. Sit back, relax, grab yourself a drink and snack, and I'll see you ready for the second half.
What's going on, guys? Mixid here, back again for another review video, and today, guys, we are reviewing Croatian raki. So this is a Greek spirit, but this is a little bit different from your normal Greek raki and the Turkish raki. So Crete, they have their own variation of this. So with the Croatian raki, which is also known as Tissue Kaudia, because do let me know in the comments below. I do apologise if I'm murdering. I think it's called Tissue Kaudia. And it is a very traditional Greek spirit that is deeply ingrained in the Croatian culture. So the difference between this raki, the Croatian one, and the Turkish raki is the distillation process. So with this one, it's made from grapes. So when they're making wine, the aftermath of it from the grapes that are left over, they'll use it to distill raki. So the difference between the Croatian raki and the Turkish raki is that this is made from grapes from the winemaking process, while the Turkish one has a strong anise flavour, which this does not have, because even the Greek variation of raki has the anise flavour in it, but the Croatian version is a little bit different. And so we will try this and we'll see what we think. So from the back of the label of this, which I'll just give you a little bit of a close-up, it says it is served as aperitivo, so it's an aperitif, so you have this with food, just like the Italian variation of the aperitif. So the best way of drinking it is pour it into like a little glass and then sip it, and you can enjoy it with water and many variations. But you can, how it's normally consumed, it is normally served chilled, or you can take it straight up warm, or you can just take it straight. But this being mixed, it is me versus the Croatian raki. Who will win? As what I'll do, I will give my taste test, as I will sip it, just enjoy the flavours, but also I will do one shot of it. So mixed versus Croatian raki, who will win? So the final thing to do now is to pour it into our shot glasses. So one for enjoying and one for taking down a shot of it. Perfect. So with the smaller one, this is our sipping. So this is for our taste buds. So how does it taste? So this is Croatian raki. How does it taste? straight away you can tell the difference between the Turkish one, as I do actually have a bottle of the Turkish raki. And it's definitely true, it does not have that anise flavour with it. It's quite powerful, it's one thing I will say, with the flavours, it's quite a powerful spirit, this one. But if I'm being honest, I'm not too sure this is something I like. I think it probably tastes better with water, just to distill it a little bit, try and give it a bit more flavour, but with that, it's not my cup of tea. I mean, even sipping, I'm not really enjoying this, that's something I take. It'd be interesting to do a Greek raki, see the anise flavour in it. But you can tell it's made from grapes, but there's not a lot of taste to it. It's one thing I'm picking up, there's not a lot of taste, there's nothing to go at. It's not overpowering like absinthe or an overproof spirit. But it's just not much there. So that leaves one final thing to do. So what would it? So for taste, I think I'd probably give it a 3 out of 10. It's not my cup of tea. I'm not really enjoying that at all. That is my personal preference. I'm not really enjoying it. In terms of design, it's a little bit of a basic one, but it is unique. One thing I do like about it, it's unique. As this is unique to Crete only. So Crete have their own version of the raki. For the uniqueness, because it's a spirit actually from Crete itself, I'm going to give that a 9 out of 10 for the uniqueness. For design, I'd probably give it a solid 5 out of 10. It's pretty basic, straight to the point, but I like it. But there's only one thing to do now, which is my final test. And that is mixed versus Cretan raki now. So this is for a mixed score. Will I prevail, or will the Cretan raki beat me? Yamas. It's finally come to me now, the taste, that's what I'm tasting. It's like a dry vermouth. Think of it like a dry vermouth, so martini, think of it like that. That's where this aperitif, that's where the flavours are coming from now. Now I'm down the shot, I can taste where it's coming from. I can taste the grapes in it, the fermentation of it, the leftovers. I'm finally getting a bit of taste now. I'm down in one stage, I keep sipping it. I just couldn't put my finger on it where it's coming from, but that is it. It tastes like a dry vermouth. They're aperitifs, so it's best with food like that to down it, but I think it'd be better with ice and chilled water. That'd be my mixed recommendation for this. I think with water and with a nice meal, I think it'd be perfect. Might be a little bit harsh with the score, as I'm getting far more taste with it. I think with the taste, now I can actually taste it, and it tastes like a vermouth for me. I might be wrong. Could you let me know in the comments below? What do you think of Cretan raki? Am I right with my analysis? But with my analysis, I would give that. I'm going to upgrade the taste. So with the vermouth, it's not that bad. Now I've done it like that, I think it's solid 5 out of 10. For the mixed, I have conquered that. I was going to say that's something I could take. And I think I'm going to give that a mixed score of a 7 out of 10. I like it very much, and that was not too bad. But guys, do let me know in the comments below, what do you think of the Cretan raki? I think for a unique drink, like I said, I think for a unique drink, and because it's local to Crete itself, I love different variations. I love legends like that. You just can't get enough of it. So I just love drinks like that are unique to the place itself, especially with like Cretan raki, because that's unique to Crete itself. I love stuff like that. So for an overall score, I will give that a 7 out of 10 as well, as I do like it, it's unique, and I recommend but have it with water and have it as aperitif with a nice meal, and I think you will enjoy that very much. As that is my review for the Croatian Raki, but do let me know in the comments below, what do you think of the Croatian Raki? And Jay, thank you for bringing that back, as I do appreciate it. But if you do have any more quirky drinks or any more national spirits like that, do let me know in the comments below, as I will do a review and I will do my mixed score, and also I will do my own personal test and mixed test of doing a shot. As I've been Mixed, I hope you enjoyed the video, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe to Mixed for more review videos like this or more cocktail videos, and I will see you guys for the next one. Yamas. Or if you want to be clever, Stini Yamas, which is to our health. But I will see you guys for the next one.
And a big thank you there to Mixed for providing today's halftime entertainment. Do go and check them out. Links and details, they are in the description. Noob, thanks for tuning in. He does. He'll have learned that in the English Football League about when to get rid of danger, when to go long ball, when to pass it. Useful thing to know as well. Trafford's look good, as we do have kick-off here for the second half. Ball gets sent long by Verbruggen. Brighton attacking from right to left. Doesn't look like any changes have been made. And Man City attacking from left to right. Man City going to be attacking where the away fans are in the second half. Early free kick given to Brighton for a push from Bernardo Silva. Doesn't look like any changes have been made by City either. So a big second half. Just a slender advantage for City, but the all-important opening goal scored. So next goal, very crucial about what does happen in this game, as Oscar Bobb trying to force the mistake there, and nearly managed to force that mistake as well from De Kuip. Verbruggen sends it towards De Kuip, manages to win that ball. Brighton do ever so well there. Heavier touch though is going to allow Rodri to intercept, surrounded by three. Here's Tijjani Reijnders Matheus Nunes manages to find Bernardo Silva. He's got the option of his Portuguese teammate as well on the right, just to help support. John Stones, who's his quality, John Stones does well. Here's Tijjani Reijnders back to James Trafford, takes a touch. He's going to send this one long, get rid of the danger. Looks for Erling Haaland. City wait on the loose second ball. Header one. Bernardo Silva manages to pick that one up. It's got a bit of momentum, but a good bit of defending there by Brighton. I think it was Hinchelwood, it was picking that one up, covering and helping to pick up the pieces. As we're now just 22 likes away from 100 likes, so any help towards that would be great. Do subscribe and do go and check out today's video sponsor, SofaScore. Links and details there in the description. Lewis Dunk put under pressure from Oscar Bobb. Verbruggen wants to take the extra touch and does. Brighton managed to send it down the path. Going to go out of play though, and it's picked up. Retro Horic. I said before I'm the one that sent that to Mixed, so I'm not too sure what he's saying there. He just has a passion for mixology. He's not doing them to get drunk. He's got a passion for mixology, likes mixing and creating and trying different things. It's a free kick for Man City. Bernardo Silva it was, with the push in the back. One straight pass forward though, and here's Oscar Bobb. And Marmoush has a shot and deflected from Van Hecke into the grateful arms of Verbruggen. And Brighton can look to build from the back. Starboy, welcome. Thank you for tuning in. That's nearly given away a game by Brighton. And it is, in fact, John Stones will mop that one up to James Trafford. Plays the pass into Rodri. Here's John Stones then to Matheus Nunes. Got a little bit of time on the ball. Finds Erling Haaland dropping deep. Back to Rodri. Here's Ait-Nouri were making a darting ball run forward, which Rodri decides not to play that pass. Held a good line there, Brighton, to stop the ball over the top from coming in. Here's Tijjani Reijnders to Rayan Ait-Nouri. Back to Kaoru Khusanov. So I'm wondering just how long are Man City going to give Rodri here. Manchester is blue. JSGC's my name. J's first name. S last name. GC just stands for General Channel. Omar Marmoush brought down there by Minter. That'll be a free kick for Man City, just inside the City half. There's James Trafford. Slightly heavier touch, forces him wide. Sends a long ball down the channel. Lewis Dunk gets his head onto it. Van Hecke will help mop that up. And Brighton do well there again through that combination. Dunk, Van Hecke, and De Kuiper. Here is Matheus Nunes. Takes on Mitoma and does very well. Erling Haaland finds Rodri. Pass into the channel looking for Tijjani Reijnders. Too much on the pass and Van Hecke can intercept. Here's Mitoma, just gives that ball away to Oscar Bobb, and City have got a chance here to get a few players forward. Marmoush, the furthest forward of them all. Here's Oscar Bobb, wants to take his man on it. It's very well defended there by De Kuiper, and Brighton can come away with the ball again. As we hit 80 likes now, just 20 likes to go to 100. Any help towards that would be great. Bernardo Silva and Hinchelwood coming together. It's going to be a throw-in for Man City, which Matheus Nunes is going to take. Throws it back to John Stones. He's got Kadir Khusanov to his left. That's where the ball goes. He's got a few options ahead of him. Omar Marmoush, one of them, and has to drop deep, and he does well under pressure to keep hold of the ball. Here's Rodri to Tijjani Reijnders. Here's Bernardo Silva. Combination of the Man City midfield three there. Here is Matheus Nunes. Haaland now back forward. Back to Bernardo Silva. Tijjani Reijnders wants it. To Matheus Nunes. Here's Rodri. John Stones. To Rodri once more. Here's Matheus Nunes. City just knocking it round now. Brighton penned in. Khusanov. Got Ait-Nouri to one side. Goes to Rodri through the middle. To Tijjani Reijnders. Now Rayan Ait-Nouri picks the ball up. It looks like he's moving perfectly fine this week, Rayan Ait-Nouri, which is good to see. Had to go off injured against Spurs last week and kind of went downhill for City from there. Here is Tijjani Reijnders. Ball given away there by Rayan Ait-Nouri. He's already on his way down there. Easy free kick to find. I reckon it'll be a draw, Retroholic. 2-2. I think if there's to be a winner, I can see it being Arsenal. I think Arsenal have looked more composed than Liverpool this season so far. Liverpool have lacked a little consistency. Should be actually a real good game, to be fair. Big challenge for both as Omar Marmoush finds Erling Haaland. He can't find Omar Marmoush again. Bit too much power on that for Erling Haaland to get under control, and Mitoma's going to pick this one up from deep. Chance here to have a run at the Man City defenders. Just chooses to play a sensible pass back instead. Belabor under pressure. Does well in the end to find his pass. Here is Dunk. He's got Verbruggen and Van Hecke as his options. Verbruggen works the ball to the right hand side where he's got Veltman. Gomez plays a darting ball forward to Mitoma. What can Brighton do from this then? Plays a pass in, and Bernardo Silva does ever so well there, just to nearly find an interception. Puts a push in the back, so it's going to be a free kick. Bernardo Silva doesn't need to do that. He's got no support there. Back to goal. Doesn't need to go through him and push him in the back. Bernardo Silva for me there. It's a needless, silly free kick to give away in a good crossing position, which De Kuiper has gone over to take, along with Gomez. Needless free kick given away. Brighton just choosing to move the ball around wherever they choose. Wherever you want to take your free kick from. The Bernardo Silva push came right next to the corner, near the corner flag. Let's see where they've moved it to. Oh, they've moved it about 3 or 4 yards further up, and it looks like they've moved it a couple of yards closer to goal. Anyway, free kick. De Kuiper takes. Looks for the near post. Nearly. Ended up just hitting Veltman in the chest and goes wide. Didn't know anything about it. Looking for the near post. But they're looking for the little flick on at the near post. Doesn't work, unfortunately. Veltman doesn't expect it, so he can't control it. And danger averted there for City. Retroholics House, what do I think of Gyökeres, Etike and Pedro, who have a chance to win the Golden Boot? Or do I think Salah and Haaland again? Good question. I can't see João Pedro being up there. Ekatike I can see being up there. That should be a free kick on Kadir Khusanov. Referee's blown the whistle and said free kick. So Brighton decided to put the ball in the net. So again, I'd like to see the referee. The whistle's already gone. It's the second time Brighton's done that in this game, where they've continued to play even though the whistle's gone. So he pushes, it's clear free kick. Puts his arm across his shoulder, brings him down. Khusanov's quicker than him, has it covered. Free kick every day of the week. Rupam, I'm not sure. I really am not sure. We'll see what tonight brings. I'll have a better idea about tonight. Going back to Retroholic's question, Gyökeres, I'm not sure about Ekatike. I mean, it all depends if they bring in Isak before transfer deadline day, which I'm not sure that is going to happen, but we'll see. If it doesn't happen, gives him free reign to be Liverpool's striker, and he's done really well so far. So, yeah, perhaps. I can't see João Pedro being up there. I can see Haaland, Salah, usual suspects being around. Is Tijjani Reijnders to Oscar Bobb. What I'd like to see from Man City is more players combining, getting 8 to 12 goals in the Premier League. Obviously, Haaland's going to be a 20-plus goal-scoring striker, and I'd like to think that Omar Marmoush providing support is going to grab between 10 and 15 goals in the season. So I'd like to see the likes of Oscar Bobb, Jeremy Doku, Savinho, when they're getting minutes and stuff, they're coming in and chipping in with 8 to 12 goals in the Premier League season, and, a couple of support from midfield, like Phil Foden, grabbing 5 or 10 Premier League goals, same with Tijjani Reijnders too, just to take that pressure off the need for Haaland to go and score 30 or 40 Premier League goals in a season, which if he keeps himself fit, he's capable of doing, but I felt that's what City really lacked last season, so that would be the targets I'd have in mind for our attacking players. Here's Matheus Nunes then coming forward to Oscar Bobb. Gets a bit of space here, Oscar Bobb, onto his left foot. Oscar Bobb continues. Oscar Bobb. Oh, nearly. Eventually the play's going to come to a stop. One of the Brighton players is down. I think Veltman's down with a head injury. It is great to see Khusanov is rapping. It is good to see Oscar Bobb getting regular minutes once more. He can showcase his quality. As I said, if he can, grab an assist or another goal today, it'll do him the world of good. He's looked really solid on that right-hand side. Savinho's not just going to come back and waltz into the team, is he? And I think Oscar Bobb's doing a good job of just keeping him quiet. Khusanov and Nunes are very quick. That's why they start today, because Minter and Mitoma are very quick players. Help keep the wide attacking players quiet, which City, 57 minutes in, have done a very good job of. Very good job of. I am wondering, when's Rodri going to come off? I'd have thought getting his first start is probably going to do about 60 or 65 minutes, and City's midfield look pretty good in the control. Maybe they might start looking to try and get a killer second goal before taking Rodri off. He might do even more. He might end up doing 70 or 75 minutes, so we'll see. Andy Man, yeah, there's minimal contact in them. They just feel a bit of thingy, a bit of pressure, a hand comes across, or minimal contact, they choose to go down. I blame referees for, it didn't used to be like this. You look at what football were like 30 years ago or so weren't the case. They started judging everything to be a free kick. Everything became very, not just technical, but also, you know, you get things like tactical foulings going on and stuff. And yeah, looks like James Milner is on his way into the game. That's a lovely ball from Tijjani Reijnders looking for Oscar Bobb. That is really well read by Bart Verbruggen. Really well read. Retroholic, yeah, he's like a one-man midfield or a one-player team when it comes to our midfield. He just oozes quality. Not having him there is just, we feel all the impacts of that because it's just so good that nobody comes close. Oscar Bobb slides in. That's desperately unlucky. Omar Mamouche wants to get the City fans going there. He plays a ball across looking for Oscar Bobb. Oscar Bobb can just about on the stretch get to it. If he's a couple inches taller, his legs are a couple inches longer. Probably 2-0. Just beyond him. That good ball from outside of his foot from Omar Mamouche. That little deflection from Van Hecke may just take it away from Oscar Bobb. Oscar Bobb does well to actually get a toe onto that. Can't divert it goalwards. Unlucky from Oscar Bobb. So Brighton have to twist, making 4 changes. Looking to try and shake things up. So obviously some changes in midfield. I can see Belabor and Hinchell would have come off. Danny Welbeck's not really been involved in this game, so he's going to come off as well. As is Gomez, so just all changes in midfield there from Brighton. All changes in midfield. So Ayari comes on for Hinchelwood. Rutter comes on for Welbeck. We got Milner on for Belabor and Gruder on for Gomez. So real load of changes through that midfield looking for fresh legs. I think maybe Brighton feel like they're just getting penned in and looking a bit tired coping with Man City's midfield of Rodri, Bernardo and Tijjani Reijnders, which has looked just oozed quality and control for City today. Rayan Ait-Nouri looks to put a ball across. Can't. Intercepted by Brighton. They can come away with it. This is where the danger is now here. Counter-attack. It's 4-on-3. Ball comes across. Khusanov can't make the challenge, but a good save there from James Trafford again. He's got to be alert. It's the first time, really, that Brighton have had a chance to come forward and have a chance on goal. You've got to be alert. Trafford's not had that much to do, in particular the first 15 minutes or so of this second half. So good save. It's not a bad hit there from Minter. Looking to go across the keeper. Straight at Trafford. Makes a good save. Makes a real good save. So, guys, just 20 likes away from 100. Any help towards that would be great. Do subscribe and do go and check out today's video sponsor, SofaScore. Links and details there in the description. So, a corner kick here for Brighton and more defending for Man City to do. Looks like they're going back post here. A look for the back post, not enough on it. Headed clear by Matheus Nunes. Hooked back in. Kadir Khusanov's got a good head onto that. Looking for Omar Mamouche. Omar Mamouche can't get on the end of that, though. Milner can. Rupam, I mean, it depends in terms of better. If you're on about overall, I'm going to look towards the Champions League winner, Donnarumma. James Trafford's got the potential to become a world-class goalkeeper. He's not quite there yet. 2 or 3 seasons' time, he might well be there. He's not got the experience in the big games like Donnarumma has got. Donnarumma knows what it takes to win Champions League, European Championships with Italy. Very successful goalkeeper. Good in the big games too. Good challenging from Man City there. Khusanov with the aggression comes sliding in. He's late. It's going to be a free kick. There'll be a yellow card that as well for Khusanov. Yeah, it is more of a 4-3-3. Rayan Ait-Nouri's stretching the pitch for Man City, so it's allowing Omar Mamouche to provide more support for Erling Haaland, which is pretty much what I spoke about in the build-up to this game, actually, before the game kicked off on the stream. It was late that and rash from Khusanov. It was a bit reckless, still a bit raw. He's very young. Not had that many opportunities at City, to be fair. Just goes sliding in, misses Minter, yellow card every day of the week. More importantly, some defending here for City to do. From this set piece. Chance for the likes of Van Hecke and Dunk to get forward, so Got to be on it here, City, with the defending. Cross comes in. And hits in. It looks like it's hit the arm of Nunes, that. Yeah, penalty. Handball. Yee! Looked like his arm was up. He looked like a very guilty man there, Matheus Nunes. And Brighton just paying dividends here for a good, strong 5-minute spell, putting City under pressure. And it looks like City may well crack. No real disagreements from Matheus Nunes. His arm is up. It hits his arm. What is it? Why is his arm up? Why is his arm up? Why is his arm up? Why? I don't get why he's put his arm up. And he does have some silly moments in there. He doesn't need to put his arm up. So, James Trafford, he's not Ederson. He has saved penalties. He does know how to save penalties. So, a big test here. And this is what I was speaking about before about Man City. And when it comes to our defence being put under pressure. And if we end up conceding, you know, we're under pressure and... confirmed by VAR that it is a penalty. I don't know what they were looking at. I think maybe they were looking at the thingy with Bernardo Silva, but didn't look like there were anything more in that, to be honest. So if they do end up scoring here, it's going to need a big response from City. It's going to need a real big response. So James Milner, former City man, to take here. Come on, James Trafford. I was going to say come on, James, but I can't say come on, James, because they're both James. The battle of the Jameses. Who's going to come out on top, Milner or Trafford? Milner to take. He's a good penalty taker, to be fair, James Milner too. So I'd be surprised if he missed. Milner then against Trafford. Sends him the wrong way. Good penalty. 1-1. Silly from Matheus Nunes. Real silly from Matheus Nunes. Needless penalty. And Man City have looked... This is the danger you have of obviously being 1-0 up. But, you know, this is the danger that you have when you've only got a 1-goal cushion. Now, good penalty that from James Milner. I think James Trafford struggles to save that if he goes the right way. I said he's a good penalty taker, so... Yeah, some work here for Man City to do. They've got 23 minutes or so. Khusanov. This is what I mean. Like, City just start to hit panic stations. Don't hit panic stations. Just continue with how you've been playing and trying to come forward and create opportunities. Don't let your head drop because you've conceded a goal. Keep at it. Keep going. Here's Matheus Nunes then. Rodri. Unlike Rodri to nearly give the ball away, he's brought down. That'll be a free kick. It was an excellent penalty shootout, to be fair. That Grimsby match. So a chance here for City to put something into the box from this free kick. Tijjani Reijnders stood over it. A free kick here then for Manchester City. What can they do from it is the question. Tijjani Reijnders to take. It'd be good to get an instant response, wouldn't it? That's too close there to Bart Verbruggen. Too close. Ball gets sent upfield by Verbruggen. Not dealt with by Ait-Nouri. He's up against Minter. He's not winning that. That's going to be a free kick. Ait-Nouri's going to go into the book now. City just struggling to deal with Brighton. These 4 changes that Brighton have made where they've obviously needed to twist because the behind has worked wonders. Looking fresh, full of energy. It'd be good to, Man City just to counter this and get a couple of subs in for themselves. Start freshening things up a bit on the pitch. Difficult in the sunshine on the south coast. Obviously, it's not the warmest of days, but it's certainly not a cold day either. Good just to start freshening things up a little bit. So free kick here for Brighton to take. So more defending for City to do. Van Hecke's forward, Dunk's forward. Obviously caused problems from the last set piece, getting the penalty. Free kick for Brighton to take. It's very deep that, no one's there. Matheus Nunes might let this one go and does, and that'll be a goal kick for City so we can get back upfield again. Why is Matheus Nunes, they've shown a replay, but why has he put his arm up? He looks like the guiltiest man ever. Most obvious penalty you'll ever see. Here's James Trafford. He's going to have to get rid of this. Sends it towards Omar Marmoush. He wins his header, but can't work it any further beyond that. So, City got 20 minutes or so to sort this out. So don't forget, guys, leave a thumbs up. Just 17 likes away from 100. Subscribe as well if you're new around here. And do go and check out today's video sponsor, SofaScore. Links and details there in the description. Khusanov loses that foot race there. Minter's could be in. Shot! Oh, it's just wide. Desperately unlucky from Minter. First real opportunity that he's had to get inside, really. Sells Rayan Ait-Nouri there. Takes it past 2. He's unlucky. Really unlucky. City need to start making... Yeah, Jeremy Doku's going to come on. I said City need to start making some subs. Start freshening this up a little bit. Nico O'Reilly is going to be coming on. So Bernardo Silva comes off. Nico O'Reilly comes on. So fresh legs into midfield for Man City. Omar Marmoush is also going to come off. And Jeremy Doku is going to come on to try and keep Veltman busy for the last 19 minutes. It's a good impact sub to make, Jeremy Doku. In particular if he can switch himself on quickly. He can adapt himself into the game. He can have a real impact. He can cause some real problems for Brighton. So James Trafford then sends this one long. Looks for Erling Haaland. Ball pings around. Minter makes a good sliding challenge in. We'll go all the way back to James Trafford though. Here's Trafford. Throws one out to Matheus Nunes. Starboy. I think it's just momentum. City are normally so good at conceding, normally really good at just having a 5 or 10 minute spell of taking the sting out of things to get that momentum back. Tails between the legs, wins. The sails are up. The real pushing. That's just a momentum turn in 10 minutes. It's what a goal does. Brighton fans will equally be saying, why have we not had a pop sooner? We could have done something. Good defending, no penalty, no penalty, but just good defending. Desperate appeals then, never a penalty. Here's Jeremy Doku then. I think there's a Brighton player down. Referee is going to stop it now. Man City didn't want to stop it. Yeah, Khusanov gets the ball. Bundled him over. Nothing more in it. Holding on to his foot. He rolled around. Well, how many rolls were there? 3 times? Nothing wrong with Gruder there, and Man City will get the ball in a drop ball situation, and we can resume. So a big 16 minutes or so here for City. Could really do with winning this game, considering Manchester derby and Arsenal away coming up in our next 2 Premier League games. Could really do with getting the win here. Here's Khusanov. He's going to send this one long. Van Hecke should deal with that, and does. Good passing. Veltman then looks to send another ball down the right-hand side, looking for Minter. Here's John Stones. I think my biggest problem I've had is, we've gone 1-0 up. We've not had that many opportunities to score a second. We've not creatively been on it. Oscar Bobb's the only one that springs to mind, and he just couldn't quite get any more than a toe onto it. Other than that, not really threatened Verbruggen since we've gone 1-0 up. Found it quite difficult to create opportunities and break Brighton down. They're a good team, putting a good shift, a good effort. It is one of these real niggly, horrible games where if you want to win Premier Leagues at the end of the season, you got to dig really deep and win these kind of games. These are games that Man City, obviously we were 1-0 up last season. A couple of late goals from Brighton putting the pressure on, and we crumbled and cracked. And obviously looking to try and do the same. City have gone 1-0 up, not got the killer second goal, and because of it, there's areas that can be exposed if they need it exposing. Here's Tijjani Reijnders bursting through the middle. Here's Rodri then. So he's done 75 minutes here, Rodri. Surprises me. Here's Oscar Bobb. Comes forward. Edge of the penalty area. Takes his man on. Good sliding challenge comes in. They can get it clear here, Brighton. They can find one of their players as well, so they can come bursting forward. Not too many options on, so they're just going to have to slow it down and work it backwards through Gruder. Here is De Kuyper now. Verbruggen sends it down the flank, finds Rodri. Here's Doku, and vantage played here. Here's Nico O'Reilly. He's going to have a hit as a block, and that'll be a corner. Again, paid the big money bringing the likes of Pep Guardiola and James French in. Come of the hour, we're needing a goal. You need to make your set pieces count. We've got a corner here. You got to make these corners threatening. I look at how good Arsenal are on the set pieces. This would be a big chance for Arsenal now in the same situation. That's what City need to do as well. They've got Haaland in there. Stones is in there. Lots of pushing and shoving going on. Put a good ball in, and Haaland finds the header, and it's over the top of the crossbar. John Stones says he was bundled to the ground. Referee says no penalty. Goal kick. Long ball sent forward from Verbruggen. James Trafford just volleys that one back in. Referees says he wants him to take the goal kick again. He's not told the goalkeeper that it's okay to resume play. I think he just wanted VAR to have a look at that John Stones incident before resuming play. Black Rose, thanks for tuning in. City found this game real difficult. Brighton are a good team. Said it needed City to be at the best of their ability to win this game. Still got 13 minutes though. There's a winner in this game, I think. So yeah, don't forget, leave a thumbs up. 15 likes to go to 100. Subscribe as well if you're new around here, and do check out today's video sponsor, SofaScore. Links and details there in the description. There's a pullback there from Oscar Bobb, and that'll be a free kick for Brighton. James Milner, the second oldest scorer in Premier League history. Still got another year to go before he can have a chance to beat Teddy Sheringham's record. If he ends up doing another season with Brighton or another Premier League team, and he scores in the second half of the season, he'll beat Teddy Sheringham's record. So, yeah. Yeah, it's a game we lost last season, so it's never going to be easy. This start was never going to be easy for City. It was just about persevering in. It's not an easy place to go to play. The referee's going to give a free kick here. Never a free kick. Minter just goes charging in to keep the ball in. He didn't really need to do so, and through doing so and keeping the ball in, City had an opportunity. Anyway, here's Brighton then coming forward. Here's Minter. He has a shot blocked well by Matheus Nunes. Gruder picks the ball up. Brighton again just throwing caution to the wind, getting players forward. It should leave a bit of space that if City can defend well, there are opportunities to burst forward. Good challenge there from Rayan Ait-Nouri, and he wants a free kick and gets one. These changes have worked really well for Brighton. They've looked much sharper and much better with the changes. I do wonder if they've maybe got the starting 11 wrong here. Or it's just Man City are looking a bit more tired as the wear and tear of the game's gone on. And I wonder if Man City's hope here is, over the next 5 minutes or so, the substitutions that have come on for Brighton will start to feel a bit more wear and tear, that they'll start to slow down a bit more. To be honest, Nunes makes the mistakes. He's in the right back spot when that arm goes up. It's a defensive position. And I've said before, he's not a defender. It's just we use him as a defender because we've got nobody else there. Your options are Matheus Nunes and Rico Lewis because we've not got round to properly sorting out a replacement for Kyle Walker. That's why defensively there's mistakes that are going to be made, and it is going to happen. Here's Matheus Nunes now to Oscar Bobb. He's got a bit of space to work with, and it's a terrible ball. Terrible ball into the box, over the top of the crossbar. Oscar Bobb gets that one all wrong. It looks like West Ham have taken the lead away at Nottingham Forest. They have. Wow, who'd have seen that one coming? Jared Bowen. Graham Potter needed that. Jess Craigree, yeah, front line's got to do better. Albert, welcome. Giulieri, he is immature. He's not a defender. Minter has a shot, saved well by James Trafford. I mean, well, that penalty thing, James Trafford's had a real good game, I think, for City today. So nothing wrong. Distributions look good. He's got rid of the ball when he's needed to. Here's Trafford to Rodri. Back to Trafford. Levers this one clear. O'Reilly can't get onto that. Van Hecke will come forward. His pass, not a very good one. That'll be cut off by James Trafford. And John Stones will get us underway. City need a bit more urgency here. There's 9 minutes remaining. We're dropping points right now. There's every opportunity here that City are going to go 5 points behind after just 3 games at the top of the Premier League with with Man United, a Manchester derby, and Arsenal away coming up, sandwiched between a game against Napoli. So this isn't going to get any easier for City over the after the international break. So we could really do with accumulating the points, and we could have done with getting off to a good start, which at the moment, 4 points from 3 games is a mediocre start. It's not a good start, it's a mediocre start. It could be 3 points from 3 games because Brighton probably, for me, look like the team most likely to score right now. Mitoma would look to try and thread a pass in. Here's James Trafford now. He could do with just getting rid of that, yeah, and he does. Oscar Bobb being put under pressure. Dunk wins the header. There's not enough. City aren't getting the bodies forward. This is causing the problem at the minute. They're a bit fearful that Brighton keep coming forward, so they're having to drop a bit deeper. And because of that, they're struggling a little bit. As another shot comes in, well saved by James Trafford. That Gruder guy's looked real good since coming on. Yeah, City could do with just getting a bit of possession and a bit of control of the game, forcing Brighton onto the back foot as Kadir Khusanov's gone down now. I'm going to need a bit of treatment, so he could be coming off soon. City got a couple of changes they can still make. I think 3 changes they're allowed to make. Well, I disagree, Adrian. I don't think it's been an awful start. You know, I thought we played really well against Wolves. First half, we played well against Spurs up until we conceded and started shooting ourselves in the foot. I thought first half here, again, a few opportunities. We managed to find the goal. It's just, you know, the standards and expectations at City are set so high that you get judged upon like you have to win every single game. There's been glimpses, I think, where City have looked good and looked nice and sharp. There's been other cases where we've just not looked as good as what we can be. And as I said, you win 4-0 away against Wolves. You pick up a point here. It's not the worst point on the road. Man I'd go as far to say that if we'd beaten Spurs last week and we picked up a point here, I'd be pretty content with 7 points. 9 points would be fantastic. 7 points I'd be happy with. 4 points, mediocre. An awful start would be City not having any wins so far this season. We lose this game and I'd say we're bordering on a real awful start. 3 points from 3 games. Rico Lewis looks like he's coming on. Nana, we look a bit tired. I don't know if it's fitness, but anyway. Ruben Dias is coming on for City. He's come on for Khusanov. Rico Lewis has also come on, I think, for Matheus Nunes. Yeah, Rico Lewis is on as well. So defensive changes for City. So 5 minutes or so to go. There'll be probably 4 or 5 minutes added on. I think, penalty for West Ham. Lucas Paquetá's made it 2-0. Who saw that coming? Not me. Again, just City, just their own worst enemy. Another free kick given away. And yeah, you'll see that again. No, to be fair, I didn't predict Man City to win the league because I don't think we're there yet. I want to see progress made on last season's what I want to see. So free kick for Brighton. Chance to put something into the box. Free kick comes in. It's too deep. I'll go out of play. Goal kick. Right. This is where City just need to try and push this forward. Get Brighton onto the back foot. Ruben Dias then is going to take this goal kick. Brighton just trying to put the squeeze onto City. James Trafford has enough time to take a touch and send the ball forward to Haaland, who wins the header. Ait-Nouri. City just give the ball away again. And again, a 4-on-3. 4-on-3. Shot comes in. Good block from Ruben Dias. Ruben Dias just straight into the action and immediately yelling at everybody. Defensively, there's no control from City. No control at all. At the moment, I'd be quite happy just to this get to full time with 1-1. I'm telling you right now, if there's another goal in this game, I feel like it's coming from Brighton, not from City. Might just be a case of pick up a point on the road against a team that we really struggled against last season and leave. See what we can do when we come back after the international break, because not been on it this second half. It's been a real poor second half performance from City. Struggled to create, been put onto the back foot. Substitutions have worked wonders for Brighton, and we've not got a grip on this. More defending to do from this set piece. Header comes flicked across. There's a chance. Trafford, what a save! What a save. The danger's not cleared yet. The danger isn't clear yet. Trafford should get to this. He does get to this. It should be a free kick. Trafford wants to get on with it, though. That was a save and a half from James Trafford. I tell you what, James Trafford single-handedly helped Manchester City to pick up potentially a point here. That is a wonderful, wonderful save. Takes the deflection off there, and it's real good save. Really good save. Here's Brighton coming forward again. Should be intercepted. It's not been cut off from City, and they're exposed again. All over the place. I think it's Gruder now with a chance. It's 2-1. Brighton have done to us exactly what happened last season. No lessons learned from City. And Brighton are rewarded for how well they've played since they've made them 4 substitutes. City have had no answer. Not one answer. They've been all over the place. I said we'd be lucky to come out with a point because it looks like if there's another goal that's going to be scored, I mean, there's nothing wrong with the initial flick and there's nothing wrong with that. No offsides in there for me. 2-1. Actually, really good attacking play to look across the line and figure out where you are to keep yourself onside. So it's going to be 2 losses in a row. It's going to be it's going to be 3 points from 3 games. What we were speaking about before about mediocre's now going to get downgraded. It's not a mediocre start. It's now a really bad start by Man City. A really bad start. And the issue is they've not learnt the lessons from the Spurs game last week. They've not learnt the lessons here from Brighton away last season. The lessons just aren't being learnt from City. There are just no lessons. And to be honest, it's nothing but what Brighton deserve. Here's Doku. I mean, Doku's come on. I've not even seen him touch the ball. That's how not involved City have been. Because they've not had an answer. Rico Lewis goes down. Should be a free kick. So into the first of 7 minutes added on. Sunderland are doing better than what we are. Leeds are doing better than what we are. West Ham have been inept. They've got the same amount of points as us. The same amount of points. And City just haven't got answers. They haven't got answers. Pep's not got an answer. The players haven't got an answer. New coaches have been brought in, but they've not got an answer. Look at that. Brighton have had more shots than us, more shots on target. It has been some second half, this from Brighton. Some second half. The worst part is, guys, it's the Manchester derby coming up next, a game that we struggled with last season and lost, and Arsenal away, a game that we struggled with and lost again. There's every chance that we could have 3 points after 5 games. This is not good. Not good at all. City need to find a response. They need a point. They need to find an equaliser. This is not a good way to head into a 2-week international break either. You spend 2 weeks dwelling on what you've thought about. I mean, look at that stat since the 60th minute and the substitutions are made. 11 shots by Brighton, 6 on target. Just 2 from City, nothing on target. Because they've not done enough. Doku just runs it out of play. This has just been inept from Manchester City this afternoon. Absolutely inept. The worst part is, guys, this is the worst part. This is a carbon copy of last season. The Spurs game last week is a carbon copy of last season, and it's the same result. You play the exact same here again. You go 1-0 up away at Brighton. You don't push and get the second goal. You get under pressure. You don't know how to deal with that, and you concede 2 goals in the space of, 15 minutes again. There are no lessons that have been learned. Not one. You cannot keep making the same approach and expect a different result. You cannot do that. Brighton here got a chance for a third to kill this off. Chipped in. Should be dealt with by Ait-Nouri. I mean, I love Pep Guardiola. I think he's fantastic. I think he's, I always say managers do need time, but he's been here for Man City for a long, long time. We're at a point where I think Pep Guardiola has got to start shaking things up and changing things. He's never going to look towards adapting his own style, because he's proven time and time again he doesn't need to adapt it. His style works. But you've got to approach a game different to how you had it last season, in particular when you lost that game last season. You've got to have a different approach. And this City team, I know how they can play. I know the players that we've got. I know what they can do. They look a shadow of their former selves. They really do look a shadow of their former selves. And once again, you put City under pressure, they crack. We're going back again, and again, I end up repeating myself. It gets very frustrating because I'm just going to end up saying what I said last week, which is, if you've got quality players, and you know how to defend, and you know how to come forward and attack, you're going to cause Man City problems. And Manchester United, Napoli, Arsenal, they are teams that will cause Man City problems. So this isn't going to get better anytime soon. Pep's always had the backing, really, from the board. So, obviously, Pep Guardiola... I just can't see Pep Guardiola getting sacked, but... They've not got an answer. There's no answer. I mean, it's added times just... We've gone behind him. We've not had a single shot. We've not done anything. Haaland's just had an outrageous effort. Just... Rodri puts a ball in and it's just wide. Should be a corner. The City haven't done enough in the summer to bring in enough quality, in my opinion. The approach coming in, obviously, from the manager's not been good enough. There isn't an answer. I thought it was a corner. If there's a free kick being given or something there, I don't know. Just not been good enough from Man City. Not been good enough. I'm going to go as far to say, must win. Lose at their peril against Man United in 2 weeks' time. Lose at their peril. It does go back. It's the momentum turner from Matheus Nunes. A stupid penalty that's completely flipped the game on its head. But again, I go to the board. I go to Hugo Viana. Why have you not signed a right back? Why have we neglected not bringing in a proper right back? If you're going to have an attacker playing in a defensive position, expect the attacker in a defensive position to do silly things because they're not a defender. So last chance here for Man City then. Doku, edge of the penalty area. Can they rescue a point? Tijjani Reijnders, shot comes in, it's wide, and that should be that. Substitutions completely flipped this. Outstanding effort from Brighton second half. Substitutions have worked a treat. Man City have had no answer. And there's a full-time whistle. It's 3 points for Brighton and Hove Albion. It's another loss for Manchester City. Lessons that were there for City to learn from last season haven't been applied, unfortunately, again this season. And there's just so many talking points. Again, I may as well just, re-download last season's review and upload it again and just replace a couple of names with different goal scorers, because no answers from Man City, and it's inexcusable. I mean, I understand everyone's frustration speaking about Pep Guardiola, because end of the day, everything falls on Pep Guardiola. He's selected the team. We've not done enough to win the game. Approach just hasn't been good enough from Man City. We've not been smart enough. We've not been solid enough. It's just been all round just not very good. Right, anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Don't forget, like the video. Nearly 100 likes, six to go. Get your thoughts in the comments below. Subscribe. Social media links are in the description, and today's video sponsor SofaScore links and details, they are in the description. And yeah, I'll see you all again real soon for the next video. Stay around next hour or so. I'll have my match reaction with more of my thoughts from this game. Have a great rest of your weekend, guys. Thanks for watching. Peace.